Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Creation Upgrade. When a daughter is born, an experience bar will appear on her head. Chapter 61. Well, let's go together. We'll go shopping later. I've been in Mufeng City for so long and haven't had a good time yet. Lu Dao chuckled and nodded, agreeing. He Yuanshuang's face suddenly filled with joy. Brother Dao, I want to go too. I also want to go shopping. I want to buy sesame cakes. Speaking of which, Wu Ming is only 9 years old, and he is still a lively and active child. He has been staying in the yard for the past 10 days, either practicing or gaining experience, and has never left the Tianyan Inn. It is really difficult for him. Why are you causing trouble? Just practice well for me. Before Lu Dao could say anything, Zhou Yulan hurriedly grabbed Wu Ming, worried that Wu Ming would disturb Lu Dao and He Yuanshuang's shopping. It's okay, let's come together. Lu Dao smiled and said, you can also go out for a walk and buy some things, some furniture, and some clothes for these little guys. Yes, Sect Master. When Lu Dao said this, Sha Qing and Zhou Yulan agreed. They actually wanted to go shopping too. How can a woman not love beauty? Even if she gets married, she still wants to buy some rouge, gouache, and some nice clothes to wear. Even a monk is not exempt from vulgarity. While talking, everyone walked out of the courtyard. He Zongming, He Wenjing and Wu Tianyu were left looking at each other. No, don't men need to go shopping? I'm going to help keep an eye on some children so they don't get lost. He Wenjing said nothing and hurriedly chased after him. Wu Tianyu also said, I'll go too, and followed him. In the blink of an eye, only He Zongming was left in the entire courtyard. After all, it was the old man who shouldered everything. It's okay, elder, you should bear 100 million more points. He Zongming could only comfort himself and go back to his room to concentrate on drawing up the sect's rules. As for the mayor, when his grandson arrived, he naturally went shopping for clothes with him. After all, he was not from the immortal sect. He would return to Daifeng town soon and wanted to spend more time with Shula before going back. Wow, Mufeng City is so lively. It was just dawn and the streets were already full of pedestrians. Wu Ming was full of curiosity about everything. He had never left Daifeng town before. From a small town with 2,000 or 3,000 people to a big city where hundreds of thousands of people lived, Wu Ming seemed to have arrived in a new world. Wu Ming skipped ahead, while He Yuanshuang held Lu Dao's hand and walked in the middle. Chen An acted as a follower. The group was not in a hurry, just walked around, shopping here and there. It would be nice if I could go shopping alone with Brother Lu. He Yuanshuang actually wanted to go shopping for clothes, but she was a little embarrassed because Chen An was with her. So a group of people neither entered the clothes shop nor went to the jewelry shop, they just wandered along the street. Lu Dao also felt a little regretful at this time. If he had known earlier, he would not have let Chen An follow him. Wouldn't it be nice to take the girl shopping by himself? Only, he didn't think so much at first. He just thought that Chen An was a member of the family after all, and he knew more about the houses and prices in the city, so he called him to buy a house. The result is that Chen An is now a light bulb. Let's go check out the house first. Lu Dao decided to look at the house first and directly used his clairvoyance to see where there was a mansion listed for sale. Soon Lu Dao found a mansion that suited his liking, both in terms of location and layout. It is not very far from the east gate of Mufeng City, less than 3 miles away, and it is very convenient to enter and exit Mufeng City. It covers an area of about 200,000 square meters and has many rooms. Everyone in the immortal sect still has a room left. This mansion is good, this is it. After seeing the mansion, everyone was very satisfied. The next step was to discuss the price, and Lu Dao handed it over directly to Chen An to handle it. He is the sect leader and does not have to do everything personally. I took He Yuanshuang to go shopping. Wu Ming also wanted to follow, but was pulled by Chen An and lured to stay with sesame cakes. When there were only 2 people, He Yuanshuang felt much more relaxed and pulled Lu Dao into and out of various shops. Brother Lu, does this long dress look good? He Yuanshuang was seen wearing a pale white dress and standing in front of Lu Dao with his arms spread out. He seemed to be too excited, with a little blush on his face and looked very cute. Lu Dao smiled and said, you turn around and I'll take a look. As He Yuanshuang turned around slightly, 3,000 black hair floated up, and a hint of fragrance drifted into Lu Dao's nose. Lu Dao smiled and said, "It's so beautiful." He Yuanshuang was very happy. "I'll try something else." He Yuanshuang happily went to try on other clothes. "Every time I try something, I have to ask, 'Brother Lu, does it look good?' And in the end, he directly asks, 'Brother Lu, does he like it?'" Although He Yuanshuang is not very old, he has already become slim and tall. He is more than 1.65 meters tall. He has a typical clothes rack and can be said to be versatile in dressing. Naturally beautiful. In particular, she looks cute, has a pink face, and occasionally shows a hint of shyness, which makes people feel very cute. After the pressure on his body was relieved, Lu Dao's tense mind finally relaxed completely. At this time, he looked at He Yuanshuang seriously and realized that this little girl was really beautiful. Especially when He Yuanshuang kept changing into different long skirts, what appeared in front of Lu Dao's eyes was that cute and flawless little face, always looking at him expectantly, hoping to get his praise. At this moment, He Yuanshuang's appearance came to mind and heart again and again. "I can't help but feel excited. Brother Lu, what about this one? Do you like it?" He Yuanshuang changed into a pink dress again, like a rose in bud, smiling towards Lu Dao, slowly turning and blooming. "I like it," Lu Dao praised. "It's mainly because Yuanshuang is beautiful. Beautiful people look good in any clothes." "What you said is true, beautiful people look good in any clothes." The owner of the clothing store also smiled and praised, "Miss Yuanshuang's appearance is like a goddess descending to the earth. With you, it can be said that they are a perfect match." Although the owner often said such nice words in order to make more money, at this moment, she sincerely thought that He Yuanshuang was beautiful. She had seen many beautiful women buying clothes, but she had rarely seen a woman with a good figure, good looks, and a very likable personality like He Yuanshuang. This sentence made He Yuanshuang's heart beat fast, and her pretty face blushed. And when she found that Lu Dao did not have any unhappy expression, she was even more delighted. Bye. Everyone likes to hear nice words, and Lu Dao is no exception. He is very happy and said with a smile, buy all the ones you like." "Hee, okay, Brother Lu." He Yuanshuang was very happy and bought all the clothes she tried on, and even bought many long skirts that looked good, but she hadn't had time to try them on. It's not expensive anyway, and they are not short of money. Besides, she will wear them for Lu Dao to see in the future, so she won't save the money. In fact, she was reluctant to waste the potion used for cultivation before. "Sir, take care, miss, take care." After leaving the clothing store, Lu Dao took the initiative to pull He Yuanshuang's soft hair. "Yuanshuang, how old are you?" Lu Dao felt that He Yuanshuang should be only 14 or 15 years old, but he had asked how old she was before, but was interrupted by He Zongming. Now even He Zongming and He Wenjing and his wife are interested in bringing them together. He Yuanshuang's appearance and figure made Lu Dao like her, but she was a little young. Being held by Lu Dao's hand, He Yuanshuang also held Lu Dao tightly and said with a smile, "You will be 15 in a few days." "Ah, it's almost your birthday." Lu Dao was a little surprised. 15 years old, well, this age is okay, not too young. In the martial arts world, women can generally get married when they are 14 years old. If it were in China, Lu Dao would not have any extra thoughts, and he himself was not very old, but this is the martial arts world, and the two of them are quite suitable in age. The two of them went shopping in clothing stores, jewelry stores, and then went to some street stalls to pick up bargains, having a lot of fun. However, while walking around, Lu Dao found something wrong. People from the sect kept entering Mufeng City in uniform clothes. Everyone's face was very gloomy, giving people a gloomy feeling. Even the elders and sect masters in the innate realm were like this. A heavy and oppressive atmosphere gradually spread in Mufeng City. The two of them did not continue shopping and rushed back to Tianyan Inn. The Tianyan Inn was very lively at this time, with large numbers of warriors entering the inn, all of whom were members of the sect. These people seemed to have some anger in them, and their brows were full of solemn expressions. "Xuanzhi, you go back to the courtyard first, and I'll go find shopkeeper Feng to inquire," Lu Dao said. He Yuanshuang nodded. "Okay, Brother Lu, we will wait for you in the yard." When Lu Dao looked for shopkeeper Feng, he found that he was receiving other people. The people he received were all strong men in the innate realm. When shopkeeper Feng knew that Lu Dao was looking for him, he immediately confessed to the others, asked the waiter to receive him, made arrangements, and brought Lu Dao into his office room. It can be seen that in his heart, Lu Dao is more important than the innate realm. This also made a group of people in the sect who did not know Lu Dao look at Lu Dao curiously. But in their eyes, Lu Dao was just a monk in the Zhang refining realm, and there didn't seem to be anything special about him except that he looked as rich as jade. Shopkeeper Feng, what happened in Mufeng City? As soon as he entered the room, Lu Dao asked straight to the point. Shopkeeper Feng sighed and said with a serious face, "It's not what happened in Mufeng City, it's the front line." Front. Lu Dao's pupils couldn't help but shrink, and his expression instantly became serious. He knew that Mufeng City was located in the southernmost part of Daqian Kingdom, close to a country called Gumin Kingdom. This country was powerful and not weak to Daqian Kingdom. It often harassed the borders of Daqian Kingdom and wanted to invade Daqian Kingdom. 600 miles away from Mufeng City, the Daqian Kingdom deployed more than 500,000 heavy troops to guard it all year round. The lowest cultivation level had reached the realm of bone forging, and it was able to repel the ancient barbarian kingdom time and time again. It is said that in the past 2 years, conflicts between the two countries have continued to intensify, with small-scale battles often breaking out. Something seems amiss on the front lines now. Lu Dao asked nervously, "How serious is it?" "It's hard to say. Now all the sects in Yongkong Mansion have received orders from the dynasty to assemble in our Mufeng City." Shopkeeper Feng looked extremely solemn and said, "At the same time, other cities have begun to recruit casual cultivators. They will come to Mufeng City to meet up in the next 2 days and rush to the front line together." Having said this, Shopkeeper Feng glanced at Lu Dao and continued, "Mufengcheng will also immediately start recruiting those who are in the bone forging realm and the viscera refining realm among casual cultivators to join the army. As for you, Mr. Lu, your breath condensing technique should be extraordinary. My suggestion is yes, you should stay at Tianyan Inn and don't join the army." Quote. Shopkeeper Feng also has good intentions. He knew that Lu Dao was very talented, and as long as he continued to practice step by step, Daqian Kingdom would sooner or later have another god, even a strong man above King Wu. He did not want Lu Dao to join the army on impulse, only to fall before he could rise. Such a result would be a huge loss to both Lu Dao and Daqian country. And, just a marrow refining realm would not have much effect on the war situation between the two countries. Rather than die on the battlefield now, it is better to be useful and serve the country in the future. As if he was worried about some possibility, Shopkeeper Feng suddenly switched to a voice transmission method and said to Lu Dao, "If you have the ability to escape quietly, it is best to stay away from Mufeng City, but be careful not to be discovered. Deserters will be treated as treason. If you are not sure, try to improve your strength and live well." Quote. At this moment, Shopkeeper Feng regretted selling the information about the marrow refining realm to Lu Dao. Otherwise, Lu Dao would have already reached the innate realm and would not have to stay at the marrow refining realm. After all, if you want to break through the marrow realm quickly, the cultivation resources required are too rare. Unlike the innate realm, although cultivation resources are expensive, they can at least be purchased. He felt that he had done bad things with good intentions. "I see." Lu Dao nodded silently after hearing this. There is no doubt that these words were truly considered for him. If heard by others, Shopkeeper Feng would definitely be punished with a serious crime. It seems that we must quickly improve our cultivation strength. After solving the incident in Red Flower Valley, Lu Dao thought he could relax a lot and at least live a stable life for a while, but he didn't know that something like this would suddenly happen. If he continues to practice step by step, even if he doesn't use pills, his current practice speed is very fast. It only takes a few days to advance to the middle stage of marrow refining, and he can break through to the innate realm in less than a month. You must know that this is the realm of marrow refining, a realm with the same strength as the innate realm, and it is also a realm that can improve qualifications and understanding, but is hidden. It takes less than a month to achieve a breakthrough. This is acceptable to anyone, and the same is true for Lu Dao. But now, no. Lu Dao directly asked Shopkeeper Feng what elixir to use in the marrow refining realm to quickly improve his cultivation level. The marrow cleansing pill can quickly improve the level of marrow refining, but Shopkeeper Feng said with a hint of guilt. However, the marrow cleansing pill is very precious. This is a pill that can improve personal qualifications and understanding when taken alone. It is only sold in Yongkong City, and they are all auctioned individually. It is simply impossible to buy in large quantities. More importantly, if you want to auction the marrow cleansing pill, you must use yuan stone. Ordinary silver and gold are not eligible to bid. Besides the marrow cleansing pill, are there any other pills that can be substituted? Lu Dao thought of the dust removing pill, but the dust removing pill can only improve qualifications but not understanding. I don't know if it can be replaced, or what the effect will be. Shopkeeper Feng thought for a while and said, yes, there are. For example, the dust removing pill and the mortal transformation pill can be used. However, these two pills can only improve your qualifications but not your understanding. Therefore, you can practice with these two pills alone. If you improve your talent, it will be less balanced and the gain will outweigh the loss. Of course, you can't think that far now. However, these two pills are similar to the marrow cleansing pill. They are also very rare and cannot be purchased. Quote. After saying this, Shopkeeper Feng couldn't help but sigh. As if because of guilt, Shopkeeper Feng lowered his eyes, but he didn't notice that Lu Dao's eyes lit up when he heard this. Lu Dao breathed a sigh of relief. He also left a root of the dust-removing grass, which can be cultivated and then refined into a dust-removing pill. As it happened, he got 2 bottles of spiritual liquid from the storage bag of the owner of Red Flower Valley. As for the imbalance in improvement, Lu Dao doesn't need to worry. He has a point-adding system, which doesn't require much understanding, as long as he can quickly improve his cultivation and strength. As for understanding, there will be many opportunities to improve it in the future. Thank you, Shopkeeper Feng, for your advice. Lu Dao was very grateful. Shopkeeper Feng was a little surprised. He found that after listening to what he said, Lu Dao's face not only did not become as ugly as he imagined, but his original solemn look relaxed. Before he could think about it, Lu Dao talked about another matter. Shopkeeper Feng, do you sell the formations at Tianyan Inn? Since he was about to move and there were so many sect disciples in the city, for safety and to avoid unnecessary trouble, Lu Dao planned to arrange such a formation in his mansion. Not for sale. If it were any other time, Shopkeeper Feng would refuse without hesitation, but now, due to guilt, Shopkeeper Feng was silent for a moment, and then said, sell, but you can't sell it to others, and ordinary gold and silver, I don't want it. Just sell it. As for what to buy, Lu Dao was a bit confused. It's not that he can't afford it, but that the things he can get his hands on are not simple. For example, 5th-level spiritual weapons, self-created techniques, dust-removing pills, these things can definitely be exchanged, but that will reveal some secrets. By the way, remove the dust pill. Lu Dao suddenly thought of something. Once he quickly improves his cultivation to the innate realm, Shopkeeper Feng, who knows that he has reached the marrow refining realm, will definitely suspect that he has a pill that can improve his qualifications. Unless he holds his breath for a while and does not reveal his cultivation. But if the front line collapses, the ancient barbarian kingdom enters the city, or he is forced to fight with others due to other reasons, he will definitely be exposed. Headache. Lu Dao felt helpless and couldn't help but rub his temples. When he was worried, Shopkeeper Feng seemed to see Lu Dao's entanglement and said, I know you don't have the yuan stone for the time being. I can let you pay it on credit. As for when to pay back, let's wait until this matter is over. While talking, Shopkeeper Feng took out a few jade slips and placed them in front of Lu Dao. After giving away the jade slips, Shopkeeper Feng's inner guilt was reduced a lot. Lu Dao looked at the jade slips on the table and glanced at Shopkeeper Feng intently, with a happy smile on his face. He has only been in this world for a short time, and although he has experienced the brutality of the Axe Gang, the viciousness of the Three Wolves Gang, and the cruelty of Red Flower Valley, he has seen the bad side of this world. But he also received goodwill from He Zongming, Wu Tianyu, Shopkeeper Feng and others. Misunderstandings, in addition to causing harm, can also warm people's hearts. This is true for Lu Dao and Shopkeeper Feng. Mr. Feng, thank you. Lu Dao put away the jade slips on the table and thanked him with a smile. When Shopkeeper Feng heard what Lu Dao called him, not only was he not angry, but he also smiled. Before, the relationship between him and Lu Dao was just an ordinary relationship between the shopkeeper and the resident. Now, the two of them have more of a friendship. Although there is a big age difference. Shopkeeper Feng asked, Lu Dao, when do you plan to move out? Shopkeeper Feng had guessed this when Lu Dao bought the formation from him. Normally, he would have stayed. After all, the formation and power of Tianyin prevented others from making trouble, and allowed Lu Dao and his party to live a stable life. But now there are too many people staying at Tianyin, and there is a mix of good and bad. If you are not careful, conflicts may arise, so he has no intention of trying to stay. We'll move today. We've already bought the mansion, number 77 Changshan Street. Lu Dao smiled and said, if shopkeeper Feng is free in the future, you are welcome to visit us at any time. Okay, I'll be free in the future. After talking about it, the words became heavier again, and then shopkeeper Feng seemed to have thought of something and asked, aren't you planning to run away? Lu Dao shook his head, if I encounter certain sect forces that I cannot defeat, I will definitely run away. But now that the two countries are at war, how can I escape in the middle of the battle? If Dafeng Town, Mufeng City, or even Yongkong Prefecture are all no more, I will live with guilt for the rest of my life, and it must be very painful. Yes, the feelings of family and country are quite strong. Shopkeeper Feng looked at Lu Dao with a smile on his face, then slowly took out 2 jade slips in a pile of milky white stones and placed them in front of Lu Dao. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Lu Dao stared at shopkeeper Feng in astonishment, only to hear shopkeeper Feng say, one of these 2 jade slips can directly use the power of the 5 elements to release a protective formation, which can withstand the attack of the innate perfection for a quarter of an hour, and can withstand the attack of the Grandmaster realm for a quarter of an hour. The other one is a formation diagram for setting up a protective formation. Whether you can set it up depends on your understanding. Quote, are you testing me before you grow old? Lu Dao smiled bitterly. Fortunately, he was moved before, but it turned out to be a misunderstanding. Now that shopkeeper Feng came and made such a show, Lu Dao didn't know whether he should be moved or not. He won't be able to fix it. You must know that shopkeeper Feng is only in the realm of innate perfection. This jade slip that can directly activate the protective formation must be a life-saving thing for him, but he gave it to Lu Dao. This kindness is not small. No matter how talented a person is, who can think highly of someone who can abandon his country? Shopkeeper Feng smiled, and then said seriously, Lu Dao, I hope you can live a good life. The future of Daqian country still depends on geniuses like you. I will. Lu Dao nodded silently. He felt that shopkeeper Feng didn't seem to have much confidence in the upcoming war, as if he was saying goodbye to him. With a heavy heart, Lu Dao put away all the jade slips and yuan stones and said, you also take care of yourself. Shopkeeper Feng smiled and said, okay, go ahead, I won't send you off. No, you go ahead and go. Lu Dao takes his leave. This can be considered a farewell. After Lu Dao bid farewell to shopkeeper Feng, he passed through the messy hall and returned to the courtyard. Brother Lu, how are you? He Yuanshuang had been waiting at the entrance of the courtyard. When he saw Lu Dao coming back, he immediately came up to greet him. Others followed suit. The fighting on the front line is tense. Lu Dao told everyone the news he got from shopkeeper Feng. After hearing the news, everyone couldn't help but become nervous. In a national-level battle, even the slightest fallout was not something they could resist. Once the front line is defeated and the enemy's torrent comes, not even the dregs of them will be left. Don't worry, if the sky falls there will still be someone tall to hold it up. You just need to practice hard. Lu Dao comforted him, then turned around and asked, where are Chen and Mr. He? Why aren't they here? The mayor was not there either, so Lu Dao guessed that he had gone back. My dad went to get some news. He Wenjing explained. Chen has already bought the mansion, and he will go there first after he comes back. Lu Dao nodded and was about to say something when He Zongming happened to come back. Since everyone is here, let's leave now. For Wu Shu, there is a storage bag, so moving is not a hassle at all, and he can just go. Lu Dao and others took a group of children and a big black dog out of the courtyard to check out, attracting the attention of many people. Many people showed sarcastic smiles. They felt that Lu Dao and others were worried that they were weak and were afraid that other sects and forces would come and kick them out, so they checked out. Some people think that Lu Dao and the others are wise. Others saw He Yuanshuang's good-looking face and figure, and couldn't help showing frivolous expressions. They wanted to tease him, but suddenly they heard the waiter's surprised and puzzled voice, "Young Master Lu, do you want to check out?" The words were full of respect. This kind of respect on the waiter's face has never been seen since they came to Tianyan Inn. Even when they received Shantian realm, they never showed such respect. In an instant, the expressions of ridicule, contempt, and frivolity on these people's faces disappeared. Everyone is not a fool. Tianyan Inn is located throughout the entire Daqian kingdom and has a good reputation. There is no need to please anyone, not even the waiter. But the respect on the waiter's face now made them feel like he was trying to please. This made everyone very surprised and curious about Lu Dao's identity. "Yes, we are ready to move out, and you can rent the yard to others. For accommodation in Tianyan Inn, you pay first and then check in." When Lu Dao checked out, he just informed the waiter so that they could quickly rent the yard to others. Lu Dao waved his hand, "Thank you for taking care of me during this time. Goodbye." Then he left Tianyan Inn with a group of people. "Young Master Lu, walk slowly." The waiter sent him out respectfully. Someone asked curiously, "Xiao'er, who is this young man? He seems to have a good background." As a result, the waiter ignored him at all, pretended not to hear, and said, "Another empty yard and 6 rooms have been made. Who wants it?" Others, Mr. Lu, even said thank you when they checked out of the hotel. "You asked me a question, but you couldn't even say a word of please." While the waiter said hello, he couldn't help but complain in his heart. The waiters like them actually don't know as much about Lu Dao as shopkeeper Feng does. But as far as they knew, whether they first sold 100 pairs of 8th grade low-grade chopsticks to Tianyan Inn, or later sold 10,000 pairs of 7th grade low-grade chopsticks to shopkeeper Feng, it was astonishing enough. Moreover, when Lu Dao moved in, he was only in the blood-refining realm. In just 10 days, he killed all the strong men of the Han family and chased Zhang perfection all over the city. How could such talent and strength be compared to the person in front of me? Besides, waiters like them are good at observing words and emotions. They can tell from shopkeeper Feng's attitude towards Lu Dao that shopkeeper Feng gets along with Lu Dao as a peer. Yesterday, he specifically told them not to offend Lu Dao. Just now, shopkeeper Feng even abandoned a group of innate realms to receive Lu Dao first. How could they disrespect Lu Dao and casually leak information about Lu Dao? The person who asked the question looked ugly, with veins popping out on his forehead, but he could only suppress the anger in his heart. He couldn't afford to offend Tianyan Inn, and neither could his sect. "We are not selling this mansion, please get out." "HMPH, what is for sale or not? Do you think you are the owner of this mansion? You guys clearly bought and sold it by force before. Otherwise, how could you buy this mansion with a mere 500,000 taels of silver?" Before they reached the door of the mansion, Lu Dao and others heard the sound of quarreling coming from the mansion. "Old man, tell me, did he forcefully buy it from you before?" Lu Dao frowned when he heard the quarrel. It was obvious that the mansion they bought was now favored by others and wanted to take over it. They even called the previous owners of the mansion over. Lu Dao walked into the mansion quickly and saw a group of people surrounding Chen. It could be seen from their clothes that these people were from the same sect. Metropolitan. As soon as he saw Lu Dao come in, Chen immediately came up to him and whispered, "Sect Master, these people want to occupy our mansion by force. Is there even a sect established in the realm of Zhang refining?" This group of people were startled when they heard Chen calling him the sect master at first. However, after taking a closer look, they found that they were only in the Zhang refining realm. Then they saw He Zongming and others walking in with a group of little kids, and they couldn't bear it. Zhu laughed loudly, "Your sect is too strong. You actually have a group of strong men in the open crotch realm. They are very powerful." Children couldn't understand such ridicule, so they naturally didn't care, but He Wenjing, Wu Tianyu and others were very angry. Lu Dao ignored this group of people and just frowned at the old man who had sold them the mansion before. "Old man, tell them now, are we going to buy this mansion from you?" The old man was not very old, in his 60s, and was in the advanced stage of bone forging. He hesitated for a while after hearing this. Seeing this, Lu Dao said calmly, don't worry, they will trouble you later. If they dare to hurt you even a hair, I will kill them all. Lu Dao's words were extremely forceful and threatening, completely different from his previous actions. But he knew that at this time, he had to be strong, and he also had the confidence to be strong. How dare you threaten us? Do you know who we are? Is it because I haven't been out of Sunset Mountain for too long, or are people outside so arrogant? The disciples of Sunset Mountain were furious and glared at Lu Dao. Some even had a bad temper and even wanted to take action directly. However, when Lu Dao looked at them and his consciousness fell on him, the people in Sunset Mountain suddenly became quiet. His face looked ugly. They did not expect that Lu Dao was not in the Zhang refining realm, but in the innate realm. The old man was also very surprised. Lu Dao looked young, but he was already in the innate realm, but he was still a little hesitant. Lu Dao also saw that the old man was forced to come here, and stopped embarrassing him. He turned to look at the people in Sunset Mountain and said calmly, "Should you go by yourself, or should I blow you away?" "You, don't be arrogant." The disciples of Sunset Mountain did not want to show weakness, so they glared at Lu Dao with a stern look, feeling a little unsure in their hearts. But there was another person who either had a bad mind or was very courageous, and directly threatened, "I also have several innates in Sunset Mountain. If you dare to touch us, your bullshit sect will be wiped out in the next moment." When the immortal sect members heard this, everyone became angry. Lu Dao's eyes narrowed instantly. The next moment, without waiting for the other Sunset Mountain disciples to explain, Lu Dao took action directly. Get away. Perfection's body movements were used, and he walked among the people, punching one after another. In just a few breaths, a group of people lay on the ground with bruises and swollen faces. Especially the young man who threatened the immortal sect had his teeth smashed. Is Ligandava boring? The young man was furious and stared at Lu Dao with red eyes, as if he couldn't believe that Lu Dao actually dared to take action. However, his words were leaking at this time and he didn't know what he was talking about. Roll. Lu Dao looked down at the Sunset Mountain disciples, his expression not very good. Not long after the immortal sect was established, someone dared to threaten him and want to destroy his sect. If it weren't for Lu Dao's good temper, this person would never have thought of walking out of this mansion alive today. Li Xingchen, the young man whose teeth were smashed, wanted to say something, but he was dragged away by the others without even daring to say a harsh word. They knew that Lu Dao was already merciful, and if he continued to offend him too harshly, it would be terrible. When it's time to give in, give in. This sect master, I am also forced to have no choice but to forgive you. Seeing Lu Dao driving away the Sunset Mountain disciples without any threat, the old man was a little frightened and bowed to Lu Dao, not wanting to offend Lu Dao. Lu Dao helped him up and said, "This matter has nothing to do with you, the old man doesn't have to be like this. Thank you for your forgiveness, sect master. I will take my leave." The old man also breathed a sigh of relief, bowed and took 2 steps back before turning around and leaving the mansion. He Zongming was a little worried. "Sect master, this Sunset Mountain. Don't worry, if they don't continue to make trouble, this matter will be over. If they dare to harass our immortal sect again, then I will teach them a heavy lesson." Lu Dao didn't care. Now that he had reached the realm of marrow refining and had several spiritual weapons in his possession, he was not afraid of even some high-level innates. If you offend him, you can only be cruel, and use this to scare the monkeys and prevent other unsighted people from harassing the immortal sect. Time is running out now. For Lu Dao, refining elixirs to improve his strength is the most important thing. He doesn't want to waste time on such trivial matters. Lu Dao comforted everyone, and then said, "Everyone, go and choose your own rooms and decorate the mansion." "Sect master, we haven't named the plaque for our mansion yet." Chen promptly reminded him and took out a blank stone he had already bought. Yes, I haven't put my name on it yet." He Zongming also reacted. He and Chen raised the blank stone and placed it in front of Lu Dao. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but hold their breath. Buzz. Lu Dao took a deep breath, then pointed his fingers like a knife, swish, swish, and lime was scattered. Immortal Sect. 3 sonorous and powerful characters with endless edge appeared on the stone slab. It was just a plaque, but it seemed to give people a sense of majesty. The sect leader is good at swordsmanship. These are not just 3 words, they also contain Lu Dao's understanding of sword techniques. Therefore, when he Zongming, Chen and others looked at the 3 words immortal sect. They seemed to be in a sea of swords, and there seemed to be countless sword techniques being practiced in their minds. At this moment, whether they are practicing swordsmanship or practicing other martial arts, they all have some new understanding of their respective martial arts. As long as they go back and understand it carefully, they will definitely make a lot of progress. However, this feeling that everyone understood only lasted for a few breaths and then disappeared. Immortal Sect Plaque. 0.10,000ths. The 9th level sect plaque contains the immortal sect leader's understanding of sword techniques. It is engraved with a sword force, which is extremely sharp. If someone breaks into the immortal sect with murderous intent, his sword will take the initiative to attack and kill the invading enemies, and can kill the late stage of Zhang refining. Lu Dao was not surprised by this. Without thinking about how to gain experience, Lu Dao took the plaque with both hands, came to the door of the mansion, raised it in the air, and hung it on the mansion. See the sect master. Chen and He Zongming were the first to pay homage, and others followed suit and bowed. A few little guys also paid homage in a dignified manner with solemn expressions. At this moment, everyone felt an extra sense of belonging to the immortal sect. Although the sect had been established before, it did not have any territory after all, and the place where I lived was the Tianyan Inn. I always felt that something was missing, and the concept of the immortal sect was somewhat vague in my mind. Although I still feel that something is missing, at least there is a plaque and a mansion. The immortal sect is no longer vague, but is right in front of them. They can see it, they can touch it, and they can unite their hearts. Everyone, get up. Lu Dao accepted the worship of everyone. This was the first time for him to accept the salute of everyone as the leader of the sect, and he was very excited in his heart. Lu Dao said, "The immortal sect means immortality and eternity. In the future, our immortal sect will definitely be able to move from here to Yongkong Mansion, to the capital, to the entire world, and even to all heavens and worlds. I hope that no matter how strong we are in the future, everyone can remember this plaque in this mansion. This is the place where our immortal sect's dream began." Yes, sect master. Listening to the sect leader talking about the future of the immortal sect and heading towards all the worlds, everyone in the immortal sect was filled with excitement and excitement. For He Zongming, Chen En, He Yuanshuang, Wu Tianyu and others, they know that the expectations mentioned by Lu Dao are not just dreams, but can really be realized. Okay, let's keep everything simple. The most urgent task is to work hard to improve our cultivation. We will talk about other things later. Lu Dao didn't say much and led everyone back to the mansion. To put it bluntly, the current group of people in the immortal sect are just a group of grassroots teams. They are far from the sect that Lu Dao wants in his heart. Naturally, there is no need to publicize it and there is no opening ceremony. Choose a room. As soon as they entered the mansion, the little ones happily picked their rooms and were very excited. He Yuanshuang asked in a low voice, "Brother Lu, which side do you choose?" Lu Dao smiled and said, "I'll choose the east wing. Then I'll choose the east side too. Brother Lu, let me choose for you." Before Lu Dao could agree, He Yuanshuang ran away happily and went to choose a room for the two of them. He Wenjing, Sha Qing, Zhou Yulan, Wu Tianyu and others took out some of the things they had bought before and began to decorate the mansion. "Master, this is the place. That person is so arrogant. He simply doesn't take me, Sunset Mountain, seriously, and doesn't give me Sunset Mountain any face." Outside the immortal sect, a group of Rishan disciples who had been beaten before came to the door along with 4 innate realm masters. The leader is an old man with black hair and white beard, and the other 3 are all middle-aged. Immortal sect, humph, what a huge ambition. Today we will definitely. Although the young man whose teeth were smashed had recovered more than half of his injuries, he was still furious in his heart. He was about to say something arrogantly, but before he could finish his words, he was suddenly interrupted by an elder who said angrily, "Shut up." Quote. The young man was stunned, a little confused. This elder was none other than his father. He usually spoiled him and rarely got angry with him, but now, he unexpectedly scolded him in a rare way. The young man fell silent instantly. He knew that if his father got angry, it meant he was in trouble. However, that is just an innate state of less than 20 years old. No matter how talented he is, can he beat the 4 innates in Sunset Mountain? The leader of Sunset Mountain looked at the young man's father and said, "Elder Shi, what do you think?" Elder Shi said with a solemn expression. The three characters of Immortal Sect are vigorous and powerful, and the meaning of the sword is deep and unbreakable. I feel the perfect level of middle-grade Zon-level sword skills in it, but it feels even more powerful than the top-grade Zon-level swordsmanship. It is even comparable to even though this sword attack can't hurt me at all, I am no match for him. Although the other two elders did not want to admit that they were inferior to others, when they looked at the words, Immortal Sect, they really could not feel any desire to fight in their hearts. Both of them shook their heads in agreement. Being less than 20 years old, someone with such cultivation and strength is really terrifying. This Immortal Sect may really become immortal in the future. The head of Sunset Mountain sighed, and then said loudly, as the head of the Immortal Sect here. Come to Sunset Mountain to visit. Lu Dao had long seen the people in Sunset Mountain through his eyes, and thought they were here to cause trouble again. In the end, he only saw them muttering in front of the door, and finally asked for a visit in a friendly manner. As the saying goes, don't hit someone with a smiling face, so Lu Dao naturally led the crowd to open the door and greeted him. I, Lu Dao, the leader of the Immortal Sect, have met all of my colleagues from Sunset Mountain. Please come in. No, sect leader Lu's sect has just been established, so it must be busy with affairs, and I can't disturb it. The leader of Sunset Mountain declined politely, and then sighed. Dao came here to apologize to Sect Master Lu. I, a disciple of Sunset Mountain, have offended many people before, and I hope Sect Master Lu will forgive me. You traitor, why don't you kneel down and ask for forgiveness from Sect leader Lu? Elder Shi also kicked his son in front of Lu Dao and made him kneel on the ground to apologize. The young man surnamed Shi did not dare to speak harshly at this time, and he did not care about his face. He said in a panic, I'm sorry, Sect Master Lu. I was always mean-mouthed before. I have offended many people. Please forgive me, Sect Master Lu. It doesn't matter, it's all a misunderstanding. Just clear it up. Don't take it to heart. Sunset Mountain had given Lu Dao enough face, so naturally Lu Dao couldn't let them lose face, so he signaled the young man to get up. Thank you, Sect Master Lu. Sect Master Lu's magnanimity is really admirable. Master Dao handed over his hand. He was very impressed by the way a young man less than 20 years old handled things calmly and even gave people the feeling of spring breeze. Lu Dao said with a smile, Master Dao thanks you for the award. In this way, Sunset Mountain won't be disturbed too much. Master Dao once again raised his hand and said, when the Immortal Sect holds its opening ceremony in the future, Sect Master Lu, please don't forget to send me an invitation to Sunset Mountain. Master Dao is willing to show his respect, and Lu will definitely send the invitation. Sect Master Lu takes his leave. Master Dao, walk slowly. Looking at the people in Sunset Mountain who had walked away, Wu Ming asked in confusion, Brother Dao, why are they so talkative all of a sudden? Zhonghu is not just about fighting and killing, it can also handle things calmly. Lu Dao touched the little guy's head and said, of course there is a premise, that is, you must be strong enough before others can talk to you properly. Do you understand? These little guys know almost nothing about the martial arts world and can only be taught slowly by Lu Dao and the others. I understand, I will practice hard. Wu Ming nodded heavily and practiced hard to prevent outsiders from bullying the Immortal Sect. Several other little guys also listened to it. Next, Lu Dao took out the 6,000 pairs of chopsticks he had made in Daifeng Town and gave them to He Zongming, asking him to teach them how to gain experience. Everyone else also went back to practice. Lu Dao also returned to his room. His room was next to that of He Yuanshuang, and on the other side was the little guy Wu Ming. Name, Lu Dao. Cultivation, early stage of marrow refining realm. Kung Fu, Heavenly Eye, perfection. God Zonping, perfection. Xiaoyaoyu, perfection. Breath condensation technique, perfection. Hunyuan, body refining technique, perfection. Flying divine feather, perfection. Briefly. Skills, horse riding Hanzi, perfect. Lu's hammer technique, perfect. The point of creation. God killing is Lu Dao's self-created sword technique by combining thousands of sword techniques, and it also consumes a lot of creation points. Nowadays, Lu Dao's self-created sword techniques, body techniques, heavenly eyes, and breathing techniques have all reached the middle level of the Zon level. Among them, the sword techniques are extremely powerful. Although they are only the middle level of the Zon level, their power exceeds that of the top level of the Zon level, and is almost comparable to it. Low grade. This is also the reason why the four innates in Sunset Mountain thought they were defeated by Lu Dao just now. God Control Formation, 0/10th entry level. Lu Dao read a jade slip, which was a 6th level formation called the God Control Formation. It was mainly used to resist the prying eyes of spiritual consciousness. The formation jade slip is different from the jade slip that Chen gave to Lu Dao before. The formation jade slip only records the introduction of the formation, how to arrange it, the required materials, etc. It is not like the jade slips that allow Lu Dao to directly comprehend the formation to a certain extent. The system is working. Creation point -10, God Control Formation, entry level. Creation point -50, small success. Creation point -100, proficient. Creation point -150, great achievement. Creation point -250, God Control Formation, perfect. In the blink of an eye, the point addition was completed, and Lu Dao completely mastered the layout of the God Control Formation. Lu Dao looked at another jade slip. With spiritual consciousness, it is extremely convenient to read the jade slips. With one sweep of spiritual consciousness, it does not take much time to read all the information. The God Control Formation, the Eye Covering Formation, the Yuan Gathering Formation, the Turtle Mysterious Formation. There are 7 formations in total, including protection against spiritual consciousness, protection against peeping, protection against eavesdropping, gathering energy, protection formation, etc. Among them, the Guishuan formation was the last jade slip formation given to Lu Dao by shopkeeper Feng. It can be completely arranged to withstand attacks from the innate perfection realm. When adding points, Lu Dao also discovered that the starting point of the Guishuan formation was 100 points. It can be seen that this Guishuan formation is as precious as the earth-level cultivation technique. After adding the 7 formations, 8,960, 560 *6 plus 5,600 points of creation were directly consumed. The point of creation. Lu Dao simply mastered the 7-door formation, then took out some of the formation flags he had obtained before from the storage space, and began to set up the formation in the mansion. Most of these formation flags come from Honghua Valley, and some come from Master Shuiluo. They basically put the formation flag in the storage bag to gather dust and didn't use it much. Now Lu Dao is better off. Of course, even if there is no formation flag, Lu Dao can still make it himself, but it just saves him a little time now. Not long after, several light curtains emerged from the sky above the Immortal Sect's mansion, covering the entire mansion. Outsiders could not see anything in the mansion, and could not even hear the sound. Which sect is this? We are only here for 2 or 3 days. As for setting up a formation, the sect's eye-catching bag is really a waste of yuan stones. The dog is rich. Outside the mansion, when the formation suddenly rose, the light curtain covered the mansion, attracting the attention of a large number of people around, and some people in the sect showed envy and jealousy. They also want to arrange such a safe formation. Seeing this, everyone in Sunset Mountain who had already stayed in another mansion showed a look of rejoicing. Fortunately, they apologized to Lu Dao and did not knock on the door impulsively. If they had fought just now, the consequences would have been disastrous. Next time you dare to offend someone, see if I don't beat you to death. Elder Shi had a look of fear on his face. If the words Immortal Sect had not been mentioned at that time, it would be difficult for him to imagine whether he would still be alive at this moment. Thinking of this, Elder Shi gave his son a good beating. Other elders who would have tried to dissuade him in the past rarely spoke up this time, and they even wanted to take action themselves. Dad, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I will never dare to fight again. Stop fighting. Ah! The screams rang out in the house and spread far and wide. God Control Formation. 0/1 trillion. The 6th level formation can prevent any innate spiritual consciousness from prying outside, but it cannot prevent the innate divine consciousness from forcibly intruding and peeking. The formation can sense the intrusion and issue a warning. Yuan Gathering Formation. 0/1 trillion. 6th level formation. It can restrain the energy of heaven and earth within the formation from leaking out, and at the same time gather the energy of heaven and earth outside the formation into the formation. Turtle Zon Formation. 0/100th 5th level formation. can effectively defend against all ordinary attacks below the Grandmaster realm for a quarter of an hour, and can only resist one blow at the Grandmaster realm. After setting up the formation, an experience bar also appeared. But what is different from other items is that the formations are divided into levels, but not into grades. There is no distinction between low-grade and medium-grade items at the 6th level. Once the 6th level is upgraded, it is the 5th level. That's pretty good. Regarding this, Lu Dao was very happy because he didn't have to spend so much time gaining experience. Of course, now that the formation is activated to protect everyone, experience is already starting to increase crazily. Wow, Brother Lu, what else can't you do? Everyone had been watching Lu Dao walking here and there, sometimes putting down a flag, sometimes putting down a yuan stone. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, the formation was formed. Not to mention He Yuanshuang, everyone else looked at Lu Dao with admiration or incredulity. None of them knew that Lu Dao had such a skill. From the weapon refining at the beginning, to the elixir refining later, and now to the formation. Not to mention creating his own techniques. In their eyes, Lu Dao was simply the omnipotent Lu Shenxian. Lu Dao chuckled and said, "Now everyone can practice with confidence and boldness, but the breath-gathering technique still needs to be activated at any time. The breath condensation technique does not consume much, otherwise no one would use this technique all day long to pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger." During this period of time, Lu Dao's experience in the breath condensation technique was also far ahead of other techniques. Good. Everyone responded with a bang. Now with these formations, living in the Immortal Sect's mansion is not only freer than living in Tianyan Inn, but also feels safer. Brother Lu, these little guys can't seem to lift their hands. Why don't we let them rest for a while? When passing by the courtyard in the middle of the mansion, He Yuanshuang couldn't bear to see several little guys brushing their chopsticks hard. Lu Dao said calmly, "You have to endure hardships to become a master. Let them continue to practice. After 2 hours of practice, I will teach them to practice, otherwise they will not cherish the opportunity to practice." Lu Dao is not soft-hearted. This is the case in the martial arts world. If you don't have talent, you can only rely on hard work. If they all rely on Lu Dao and don't work hard at all, or if they can't cultivate a perseverance in martial arts, then they will be useless no matter how high their cultivation level is in the future. You know, before Wu Ming practiced, he often lit a fire for Lu Dao, which made his face red and his ears red, and he often brushed his chopsticks. Wu Ming has had a strong desire for martial arts since he was a child. Now he is practicing very hard. His cultivation level has surpassed that of Chen En, and he is the highest cultivation level besides Lu Dao. The 8 Shula people now have martial arts practitioners who are at least in the late stage of skin refining. Relatively speaking, they have to endure very little hardship. Lu Dao cannot let them develop the idea that everything is easy to obtain. Yes, Sect Master. Lu Dao's voice was not quiet, so all the little guys heard it. Lu Dao also told them specifically, and the little guys responded positively at this moment. "I didn't cry out about tiredness, nor about suffering. Brother Lu, you are really good at teaching people." After walking away, He Yuanshuang said with admiration. Lu Dao smiled and said, "Brother Lu knows a lot. Do you want Brother Lu to teach you other things? Think about it, what can you teach me?" He Yuanshuang was very happy. Lu Dao chuckled and said, "I'll teach you how to practice. Well, to be precise, I'll give you Shaozhong." Ah, isn't this unfair? He Yuanshuang was a little entangled. She didn't want Lu Dao to make other people in the Immortal Sect feel unfair because of her, which would affect Lu Dao's image in everyone's hearts. Lu Dao chuckled and said, "No, it's useless to them anyway. I only teach you." Ah, He Yuanshuang was a little confused. What can others not learn and can only teach themselves? He Yuanshuang didn't expect it, but he always felt that Brother Lu's smile was a little naughty at this moment. "Okay then, when will Brother Lu teach me?" He Yuanshuang didn't think much about it. Lu Dao said, "We can't teach now, wait until later, go practice quickly." "Huh, if you want to be taught but can't be taught, I'm leaving." Playing with the little girl, Lu Dao returned to the room. Lu Dao took out the porcelain basin, poured the spiritual liquid into it, and put it aside, waiting for it to sprout. In the following time, Lu Dao was not idle either, and took out the new skills he had obtained from the Han family, Master Shui Luo, and Red Flower Valley to classify and organize. With the divine sense, it was very quick to do this, and the divine sense could quickly separate these different types of skills. Lu Dao searched out all the pupil skills, sword skills, body skills, and breath-retaining skills, and then began to add points and merge them to improve the power of the 4 self-created skills, and continued to add bricks and tiles to lay a solid foundation. Every time a new skill is merged, the experience of the self-created skill will drop a bit, but for Lu Dao now, it is also very fast to brush it back, so he is not worried about its power decreasing. 2 hours later, the dust-removing grass grew leaves, and Lu Dao was ready to start grafting and upgrading as before. It turned out that the newly grown dust-removing grass was directly a top-grade spiritual grass. Oh, I was so busy that I lost track of time. The grass roots I left last time were from the top-grade spiritual grass. Lu Dao patted his forehead and let it grow freely. After all, he had remembered that it took 10 days to upgrade the top-grade spiritual grass to the next grade when he was gaining experience last time. He didn't have the time now. Lu Dao got up and went out to teach the 8 little guys and gave them some instructions. At the same time, in order to prevent accidents, he asked He Zongming to keep an eye on these little guys for the time being, and he didn't need to care about them when they advanced to the initial stage of skin refining. The 8 people practiced seriously in the yard and worked very hard. Lu Dao didn't waste time and returned to his room to continue reading the exercises. Time passed, and another 5 hours passed in a blink of an eye. The dust-removing grass finally matured completely. Relatively speaking, it took a little more time than the last grafting. At that time, after each upgrade, the dust-removing grass would grow a little more out of thin air. Now this dust-removing grass lacks the upgrade process and takes a little more time to grow. Skill: Dust-removing pill, 0/1/9 grade lower grade. System: Fill up 95. Fortune point -1, dust-removing pill, 9th grade lower grade. Fortune point -3, middle grade. Fortune point -6, upper grade. Fortune point -10, 8th grade lower grade. Fortune point -6000, dust-removing pill, 6th grade upper grade. The points added to dust-removing pill are completely different from the skills. The points added are like the upgrade of the entry-level items, from 9th grade lower grade to 6th grade upper grade. When it reaches 6th grade upper grade, it can't be upgraded further. The 95th is not filled up, only the 96th is filled up. Could it be that the highest level of dust-removing pill can only be refined to 6th grade upper grade? Can't it be refined into 5th grade elixir? Lu Dao had some guesses in his mind, and at the same time, he thought of dust-removing grass. The upgrade of dust-removing grass is also from lower, middle, upper, all the way to the best grade, a total of 4 grades, similar to the 4 grades of dust-removing pill. It seems that in theory, the upper limits of the 2 are corresponding, but after the grafted dust-removing grass reaches the level of the best spiritual grass, it can still be upgraded. Similarly, the dust-removing pill he refined can also be upgraded in theory. I just don't know what the dust-removing grass will become after it is upgraded from the best spiritual grass. This can only be studied later. Name: Lu Dao. Cultivation: early stage of marrow refining realm. Kung Fu: Heaven Eye perfect, Slaying God perfect, Free and Easy Journey perfect, Breath Retaining Technique perfect, Hunyuan Body Refining Technique perfect, Flying God Feather perfect, omitted. Skills: Horse Trapping Man perfect, Dust Removing Pill, 6th grade upper grade, Lu's Hammer Method perfect. Lucky points: after adding some dust-removing pill, Lu Dao began to take out the pill furnace he got from the Red Flower Valley and began to refine the pill. This time, he was refining the pill seriously, not cooking like before, and all the processes and steps were more standardized. Clean the furnace, medicinal materials, purify the liquid medicine, bake, mix the liquid medicine, and so on. Lu Dao seemed to have done each step countless times, very skilled, without any mistakes. The fire power in his body was continuously input into the bottom of the furnace, and every bit of the fire was controlled to the extreme, so that the liquid medicine in the furnace gradually condensed into pills. Half a quarter of an hour later, a furnace of pills came out. Half of the dust-removing grass was used, and 9 pills were produced, all of which reached the 6th grade upper grade. Dust-removing pill 0/100 trillion, 6th grade upper grade pill, 1% may increase the qualification to the best upper grade, 10% to the best middle grade, 50% to the best lower grade, 80% to the good upper grade, 100% to the good middle grade. There is no doubt that the dust-removing pill is upgraded to the 6th grade upper grade. Both the upper and lower limits of taking pills are much higher than the 6th grade lower grade. There is even a 50% chance of being upgraded to the best lower grade, which is terrifying. Of course, it is still not as good as the effect of Lu Dao's previous use of almost a whole plant of dust-removing grass to refine a pill. Although it is only a 6th grade lower grade, the probability of raising the qualification to the best middle grade is 90%. Obviously, the specific effect of the pill is also related to the amount of medicinal materials used and the number of pills. The more the number and the fewer the medicinal materials used, the worse the effect will be. Lu Dao took the dust-removing pill and began to practice. As the dust-removing pill was taken, the pill melted and turned into countless torrents, flowing into every bone, blending with the bone marrow, spinal cord, and even the brain marrow, and then began to temper. Hey, didn't you say that the dust-removing pill can't improve comprehension? Why is my comprehension also improving? Lu Dao was a little surprised. He could clearly feel that as the medicinal power was refined by the Hunyuan body refining technique infused with the brain, his comprehension seemed to be slowly improving, but the improvement was not as obvious as his own aptitude. This was very strange. Top-grade dust-removing grass. Could it be that the top-grade dust-removing grass has already approached the spiritual herb that improves comprehension? Lu Dao could only make such a guess. But no matter what, for Lu Dao now, such a result is very good. Nearly an hour later, Lu Dao finished refining a pill. Refine another one and you can break through the middle stage of marrow refining. Lu Dao roughly estimated that it would take 14 2 plus 4 plus 8 6th grade high-grade dust-removing pills to break through from the early stage of marrow refining to the innate. This consumption is a bit high. If time is not urgent, I really don't want to give up these pills. Lu Dao was a little surprised. If all the 14 6th grade high-grade pills were used to improve the aptitude of the disciples of the immortal sect, 14 geniuses would appear. It was also thanks to Lu Dao. If it were someone from another sect, they would really be reluctant to use them to improve their cultivation. Lu Dao did not stop and continued to practice, refining all the remaining 8 pills, and then continued to refine pills, and refined again. During this period, something happened that disappointed Lu Dao and puzzled him. He deliberately left another root of the dust-removing grass, wanting to cultivate another dust-removing grass, but failed. Until 8 hours later, Lu Dao had refined 14 pills, and his qualifications were also improved to the top grade when he broke through the late stage of marrow refining. Otherwise, he would have practiced for a longer time. In the room, Lu Dao closed his eyes, and his body was like a raging sea. The power of blood, bone strength, and the power of the 5 elements merged into a huge essence, rushing from the whole body to Lu Dao's lower abdomen. There was an invisible barrier there. It could not be seen or touched, but the consciousness could vaguely sense it. Once, 10 times, 100 times. Lu Dao kept running the Hunyuan body refining exercise, circulating the essence in his body, and rushing again and again. Gradually, cracks spread all over the barrier, like a spider web, spreading, and spreading again. Finally, with a cracking sound, the barrier broke, disappeared, and was never seen again. At the same time, Lu Dao's essence and consciousness rushed into a strange world like a tide. Here is the Dantian. The Dantian is 3 feet away, and it is hazy inside. Except for a passage that is invisible to the naked eye where it connects to Lu Dao's lower abdomen, the rest of the periphery is in chaos. The essence flows into the Dantian and is instantly transformed into Yuan Qi. When used again, it can be either essence or innate Yuan Qi. Obviously, essence and Yuan Qi are connected and can be transformed into each other. This discovery surprised Lu Dao. In this way, his essence in the marrow refining realm can be disguised as innate Yuan Qi, and it will not expose the fact that he has cultivated to the marrow refining realm. In fact, Lu Dao also understood it after thinking about it carefully. When cultivating the physical body, if other cultivation resources are not used, cultivation is also to absorb the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth to temper, and the innate realm is the same. Therefore, it is normal that the essence and the innate energy can be transformed into each other. Try to open up the Dantian. The energy was diffused, and under Lu Dao's control, it continued to impact the surrounding chaos, making a thumping sound. Unfortunately, it was useless other than that. Obviously, without the cultivation method of the innate realm, relying only on the Hunyuan body refining technique to temper the body, it is impossible to continue to open up the Dantian. Lu Dao was not disappointed. Now it was not so important for him to break through the innate realm quickly, because his current strength has reached the level of innate perfection. The marrow refining realm and the innate realm are the same realm, and the strength is the same. Lu Dao has now broken through the marrow refining and promoted to the innate realm, and his strength has naturally reached the innate perfection. However, he was promoted to the innate realm. In terms of pure realm strength, it is only innate perfection, not reaching the master realm. But if you add spiritual tools and techniques, it is not necessarily the case. Thinking of this, Lu Dao began to brush experience for his equipment. Although he could not brush the equipment to the 4th level, it was a great improvement to brush it to the 5th level. When brushing equipment, Lu Dao was also more careful. He only brushed the experience to the maximum, but did not upgrade the equipment. The cultivation level and equipment grade can be improved at any time. Lu Dao's strength has undoubtedly improved a lot, but in this battle, Lu Dao is not very confident. It would be great if I could buy a few local level skills. Lu Dao sighed. Do your best and leave it to fate. Lu Dao comes out of customs. He Zongming, He Yuanshuang and others were already in the courtyard and were not practicing. They seemed to be waiting for him. When He Yuanshuang saw Lu Dao, he immediately came up to him and hugged Lu Dao's arm. His face was full of worry and his eyes were a little panicked. Lu Dao asked, "What happened?" He Zongming said in a deep voice, "Sect Master, someone from the government just informed our immortal sect that they want you to go to the battlefield tomorrow. Forced conscription into the army." When Lu Dao heard this, his joy at breaking through the innate realm gradually faded away. Lu Dao didn't know the specific situation on the front line, but he understood that although he was already in the innate realm, he was still too weak in a national level battle. "Brother Lu, what should I do?" He Yuanshuang looked at Lu Dao worriedly, tears welling up in his eyes. Isn't this the case for other people? The current forced recruitment into the army shows how serious the front line has become. Once Lu Dao is caught in the battlefield, the consequences, they dare not think about it. It is obvious that the immortal sect is in a stage of vigorous development. As everyone's qualifications improve, they can rise quickly, but they do not have this time. Now even Lu Dao is about to enter the battlefield. If Lu Dao dies, their immortal sect will cease to exist in name only. Seeing the worry on everyone's faces, Lu Dao comforted him, "Don't worry, I have broken through to the innate realm." The sect leader has reached the innate realm. When He Zongming, Chen and others heard this, they were all delighted. They know the realm of marrow refining, so the sect master's true strength has reached innate perfection. Although this kind of strength is still slightly weaker than the national war, it is at least not as weak as in the early stage of marrow refining, and the chance of survival is greatly increased. Well, you don't have to worry. Lu Dao didn't want everyone to worry too much, so he gave everyone a shot in the arm, then called the other 8 little guys in front of him, and gave 8 dust-removing pills with less ingredients to them. "Eat it, you will be better after your qualifications are improved. Go practice." Lu Dao hopes that everyone in the immortal sect can survive this war. In the current immortal sect, Wu Ming, Chen En, and He Yuanshuang are all in the Zhang refining stage, while He Zongming, He Wenjing, Wu Tianyu and others are in the later bone forging stage. The 8 little guys are in the blood refining realm. Obviously, the people in the government who came to forcibly recruit Lu Dao did not see the cultivation level of Wu Ming and others, so they did not forcibly recruit them, but only Lu Dao, the sect leader. After all, the formations of the immortal sect were not something ordinary monks could set up. There was no need to look at Lu Dao's cultivation to confirm that he must have met the conditions for recruitment. "Yes, sect master." The 8 little guys took the elixir and sat aside to take it. "You all come here, and I will teach you some martial arts skills." "Yes, sect master." Next, Lu Dao continued to use the heavenly eye technique, passing on some low-grade Zon-level martial arts, body skills, etc. that were suitable for everyone, all of which were at the perfect level. The strength of everyone has been greatly improved. Let's all get used to it, otherwise we may lack combat experience when the time comes to fight. Lu Dao is also worried that if the front line collapses, this group of people with only strength but no combat experience will die in a miserable state. Yes, Sect Master. Everyone walked to the courtyard of the mansion to fight with each other, adapting to martial arts and body skills, and improving their combat experience. Only He Yuanshuang held on to Lu Dao's hand, with no joy on his face but full of worry. Xuanzhi, come with me for a walk. Lu Dao took He Yuanshuang and wandered around the mansion, thinking about things. While strolling around, He Yuanshuang suddenly turned around and threw herself into Lu Dao's arms. Her voice was choked and she said, "Brother Lu, Xuanzhi is so scared." A smile appeared on Lu Dao's face. He hugged He Yuanshuang's soft body, stroked his smooth hair, and said softly, "Xuanzhi, don't worry, it's okay. You, Brother Lu, can do anything." He Yuanshuang just hugged Lu Dao tightly and did not reply. It was obvious that he had not let go of his worries. His consciousness scanned the little pearl in He Yuanshuang's eyes, and Lu Dao said softly, "Xuanzhi, don't worry, Brother Lu will find some local skills later, and his strength will be improved again, even to the master level." Before she finished speaking, He Yuanshuang broke away from Lu Dao's arms and pushed Lu Dao away from the mansion, urging, "Brother Lu, go quickly, don't waste time, find more books, hurry, hurry, hurry." Lu Dao was stunned and wanted to slap himself twice. He finally hugged He Yuanshuang, and it was Xiaonizi who took the initiative, but she was pushed away by him. Couldn't he hold her for a while longer before mentioning this? Brother Lu is leaving soon. Seeing Lu Dao's reluctant look, He Yuanshuang's face turned red. Lu Dao waved his hand and left the mansion. Walking on the street, Lu Dao saw that everyone was in a hurry and had heavy expressions on their faces. The same was true for those in the sect. "Oh, I miss the peaceful China a little bit." Lu Dao sighed slightly, and then walked into Tianyan Inn. "Lu Dao, why are you here?" Shopkeeper Feng was surprised to see Lu Dao and brought him into his office room. Lu Dao got straight to the point and said, "Shopkeeper Feng, do you have any earth-level skills in your hand? It's best to use martial arts, body skills, etc. Of course, skills to improve your cultivation at the innate realm are also acceptable. Boy, although I can let you pay on credit, you can't take advantage of me like this." Shopkeeper Feng rolled his eyes. Although he said so, he still took out 2 books of exercises and a jade slip and pushed them to Lu Dao. At the same time, he asked with some doubts, "I didn't say that you have such a strong understanding. Why haven't you created your own earth-level technique yet? What are you doing these days?" Many people throughout Mufeng City knew that Lu Dao learned the Zon-level skill Fatian Divine Feather directly after auctioning it off. They also knew that he created his own sword skills, body skills, and eye skills. Moreover, Shopkeeper Feng also learned from other people in the inn that Lu Dao just received the formation yesterday and then arranged it. How amazing is this kind of understanding? Therefore, Shopkeeper Feng is very surprised that Lu Dao has not yet created his own earth-level technique. Lu Dao opened his mouth, but was speechless. Shopkeeper Feng's confidence in his understanding was, as always, more than his own. Lu Dao didn't know what to say, so he could only make an excuse and said, "Earth-level skills are too difficult to create. Aren't I looking for you to ask for skills? It's a good reference." What do you mean, you are buying on credit? Shopkeeper Feng was dissatisfied and glared. "No, are you planning not to pay back the debt?" No, slip of the tongue, slip of the tongue." Lu Dao explained quickly, but he was a little curious. "Mr. Feng, after all, do you trust me so much? Are you afraid that I will run away after taking the things? These things, including the 7 sets of formations, must be of high value, right?" Shopkeeper Feng was silent for a moment after hearing this, and said in a somewhat desolate tone, "Whether you can survive this time is still a matter of course. If you can survive with these things, I will still be able to smile even if I die on the battlefield." Lu Dao was silent. When he bought the formation before, he felt as if Shopkeeper Feng was saying goodbye. Now, Shopkeeper Feng's words directly confirmed this. Is the battlefield really so scary? Lu Dao's expression was a little solemn. Shopkeeper Feng was also born perfect. If Shopkeeper Feng didn't have much confidence in surviving, Lu Dao felt that he might be a little hung up too. Shopkeeper Feng sighed. "The battlefield is like a meat grinder, what's not scary? What if you are promoted to the master level? What are the chances of surviving? Lu Dao was silent for a moment before asking. Of course the Grand Master is more certain to survive. The odds, wait a minute. As shopkeeper Feng was talking, he suddenly reacted and asked in surprise, how did you see through my cultivation? Lu Dao blinked and showed a harmless smile. Shopkeeper Feng looked up to the sky and sighed, my eye skills, right. Your eye skills are really powerful. You can even see my cultivation level. It's a pity that you used your understanding in the wrong direction. Isn't it good that you created your own sword technique? Shopkeeper Feng didn't even know that Lu Dao had been promoted to the innate realm. He didn't hide his cultivation level. Lu Dao knew his true cultivation level with a slight sense. Lu Dao didn't explain much. He already knew that with the strength of a master, he would be more confident of surviving. He felt a lot more relaxed. At this moment, Lu Dao looked at shopkeeper Feng, with various thoughts in his mind. Finally, Lu Dao made a decision, looked at shopkeeper Feng seriously, and said, Mr. Feng, I am going to give you a gift, but you must promise not to leak any information about this gift. The goodwill was mutual. Shopkeeper Feng valued him so much and gave him skills and formations at will. How could Lu Dao just watch shopkeeper Feng die? Shopkeeper Feng was stunned for a moment, but he was still a little moved in his heart. This boy was not a heartless person, and then he waved his hand casually and said, forget it, you can keep it for yourself and live a good life. I have long been indifferent to life and death. This gift might keep you alive. After listening to Lu Dao's words, shopkeeper Feng remembered the question Lu Dao had asked just now, and guessed that it might be a precious elixir or medicinal materials that could allow Shantian to successfully break through to the master realm. Shopkeeper Feng pondered. If it were something else, he would refuse, but if it were such a resource, it would not be of much use to Lu Dao now. If he could be promoted to Grand Master, he could use other things to compensate Lu Dao in the future. Who would choose to die if he could survive? Okay, then I will accept your kindness. Shopkeeper Feng took a deep breath and said, don't worry, I will never reveal any information about it. No, just a verbal promise is not enough, you need to swear. Lu Dao shook his head. The oaths in the martial arts world are very spiritual. Once violated, it is easy to go crazy during the practice. In serious cases, they may even be killed by thunder and the soul will be extinguished. He doesn't believe in verbal promises, but rather believes in martial arts oaths. Shopkeeper Feng is helpless. He only has the resources to advance to the master level. Is he so cautious? Although he thought so, shopkeeper Feng still took the martial arts oath in front of Lu Dao. Lu Dao breathed a sigh of relief, then took out a storage bag and handed it to shopkeeper Feng, turned around and left Tianyan in, leaving only one sentence, if something really happens. I hope Mr. Feng can help take care of Immortal. Zong. Shopkeeper Feng was slightly stunned. Before he could see what the gift was, Lu Dao left like this. Shopkeeper Feng looked at the leaving Lu Dao's back with a somewhat complicated expression, Immortal Sect. Don't worry, if that's the case, I will take good care of the Immortal Sect, but I hope you can survive. After rubbing the storage bag, shopkeeper Feng looked inside to see what it was. As a result, the next moment, shopkeeper Feng stood frozen on the spot, his eyes widened, with a look of disbelief on his face. Chapter 71. Brother Lu, how is it? As soon as Lu Dao returned to the mansion, he saw He Yuanshuang who had been waiting for him at the door. The little girl was full of concern. Lu Dao smiled and said, how can you not get the skills when Brother Lu comes out? Yes, He Yuanshuang blinked. She felt that there was something wrong with Brother Lu's statement. Shouldn't it be buying? Lu Dao said, let's go. You should also practice your body movements and martial arts and improve your combat experience. Yes, Brother Lu, don't worry. I will find my mother to practice later. In the yard, everyone was practicing and fighting each other, constantly improving their combat experience. Even the big black dog participated. However, the big black dog did not learn any attacking martial arts of the monster beast. He only knew how to bite, rush left and right, and attack with a black mouth and sneak attack. He Yuanshuang accompanied Lu Dao until they separated at the door and returned to their rooms. Lu Dao took out the 2 books of skills and jade slips given to him by Manager Feng. These 3 skills are all of the lower grade of the earth level, one is a sword skill, one is a body skill, and one can improve the cultivation of the innate realm. Add some points. With the luck points, it is easier for Lu Dao to control the skills than to drink water. After learning the 3 skills, Lu Dao decisively tried them in the room, and immediately found that his strength had improved a lot. Then Lu Dao began to integrate the body skills and sword skills into his own skills, and brushed it to the middle grade of the mysterious level again. Lu Dao immediately found that after integrating the earth level skills, although the grade of his own skills was still the middle grade of the mysterious level, the power just reached the level of the earth level. It was incredible. Not bad. Lu Dao was very satisfied, and then touched his chin and thought, I will go to the battlefield tomorrow. By the way, what else can improve my strength? Weapons, gold silk soft armor, skills, cultivation. These have been improved to the extreme at present and cannot be improved further, so Lu Dao did not consider these. Lu Dao sat cross-legged on the bed, resting his chin on his right hand, thinking. Suddenly, Lu Dao stared at his bare right foot, curled his toes, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Oh, shoes. Lu Dao hurriedly got up and knocked on He Yuanshuang's door. Brother Lu, what's wrong? He Yuanshuang was a little strange. Lu Dao had never knocked on her door. For some reason, He Yuanshuang was a little nervous and a little expectant at this moment. She secretly said, Brother Lu will go to the battlefield tomorrow. If he wants. Thinking about this, He Yuanshuang felt very sad, as if the two were saying goodbye to each other. Lu Dao did not notice He Yuanshuang's strange expression, and hurriedly asked, Xuanzhi, can you make shoes? Ah, He Yuanshuang knew that he had misunderstood, and his face turned a little red. He quickly replied, Yes, Brother Lu, do you want Xuanzhi to make a pair of shoes for you? Yes, yes, come, Xuanzhi, measure my feet. At this moment, Lu Dao didn't think about anything else. He walked directly into He Yuanshuang's room, took off his shoes, and asked Xuanzhi to measure him. In fact, he can make it himself, but it will definitely not fit his feet, and it will be uncomfortable to wear. Just like the armor he made before, it is definitely good for protection, but it is a little unfitting. Even if it is upgraded to a 5th level spiritual weapon, it can shrink in size, but it cannot change its shape, and it is still a little unfitting. Since Xuanzhi can sew, then measure him, cut the cloth, and he can thread the needle and make a pair of shoes, which will definitely fit his feet. Okay, Brother Lu, please sit down. At this moment, He Yuanshuang was extremely serious. She didn't care whether Lu Dao had athlete's foot. She squatted on the ground and kept measuring the length and height of Lu Dao's feet, the width of toes, body, heels, etc., and then began to cut the cloth. She looked like a virtuous wife. Lu Dao sat aside, smiling, quietly admiring He Yuanshuang's serious look. Love in the martial arts world is really good. Lu Dao thought so. In fact, he and He Yuanshuang have only known each other for 10 days, but the relationship between the two has warmed up, just like a couple. For a woman like He Yuanshuang, her figure, appearance, personality, are all top choices, and she loves him wholeheartedly. Lu Dao is not a monk, how can he not be moved? And He Zongming's family is also very satisfied with him. They will not stop him and will definitely not ask for a gift. Lu Dao will certainly not miss it. I just hope that I can get through this war safely. The monks were very fast at cutting. In less than a moment, He Yuanshuang had cut all the cloth. When she was about to sew it, Lu Dao stopped her. I'll do it. Brother Lu, isn't Xuanzhi done yet? He Yuanshuang was a little confused, thinking that Lu Dao disliked her for not cutting it well, and her expression was inevitably a little depressed. Lu Dao affectionately scratched the little girl's cute nose and smiled. No, Brother Lu wants to do it himself, you come to teach Brother Lu how to thread the needle. Oh, okay. He Yuanshuang happily explained to Lu Dao how to thread the needle and how to sew these cloths completely. Soon, a pair of brand new cloth shoes was made. Cloth shoes. 0/100ths excellent cloth shoes, very comfortable to wear, even if you walk for a long time, your feet will only feel slightly sore. Close black lens bracket. Xuanzhi is really amazing. Lu Dao praised He Yuanshuang. Practice well, Brother Lu is going back. Turned back to his room. Listening to Lu Dao's praise, He Yuanshuang's face flushed, and her heart was filled with joy. However, when she thought of tomorrow, her joy gradually cooled down. Back in the room, Lu Dao put on his cloth shoes and began to brush up experience. Experience plus 100,000. The Shantian realm is the same as the Lianzang realm. Each brush-up experience is 100,000. Even if Lu Dao has one more realm, it will not become 1 million at a time when he is in the Shantian realm. This made Lu Dao a little disappointed, but he did not care too much. He had expected it. Experience, give me a crazy surge. Lu Dao roared in his heart, and stepped on the pile of bone powder on the ground with his shoes on. As expected, the experience surged. The main function of shoes is to protect the feet. What if such a large pile of bone powder of a Master Realm powerhouse is scattered on the ground and hurts the feet? Then upgrade the grade of the shoes. Cloth shoes. 0/10, 5th grade lower grade, innate spiritual weapon, has developed a trace of spiritual intelligence, can drip blood to recognize the master, not to mention how comfortable it is to wear on your feet. Not only can it make your feet comfortable, but also can protect your feet from ordinary attacks below the innate, and can also allow you to increase your body speed when performing body skills. Different grades of body skills have different speeds of improvement, please explore it yourself. Close black lens bracket. You still explore it yourself. If this thing was written by someone, then is it because they don't want to waste words, or are they too lazy and don't want to waste brain cells? Lu Dao looked at the text introduction and couldn't help complaining in his heart. Xiaobu, add buff to me. After Lu Dao dripped blood to recognize the master, he performed Xiaoyaoyu in the room. Master, what is a buff? Xiaobu was a little confused and couldn't understand what Lu Dao said. It's to speed up my body. Oh, okay. Then, when Lu Dao performed his body skills, Xiaobu also used his own ability to bless Lu Dao's body skills. In an instant, the room was full of Lu Dao's figure, which turned out to be a trail of afterimages. Oh my god, is the improvement so great? Lu Dao was a little surprised, and then ecstatic. He found through trial and error that Xiaobu actually increased the speed of his Zong level middle grade Xiaoyaoyu by nearly 10 times, which was faster than the lower grade body technique of the earth level. When he used the lower grade body technique of the earth level that shopkeeper Feng gave him, the speed increase was not so great, only 2 or 3 times, but it was still a little faster than his own technique. Obviously, the lower the grade of the technique, the greater the gain, and the higher the grade, the smaller the gain. This was within Lu Dao's expectations. With Xiaobu, the survivability has greatly increased. Lu Dao smiled with satisfaction and continued to brush experience, and stopped only when his experience was enough to upgrade to the 5th grade upper grade. Of course, he did not upgrade either. This is the correct way to play the pig and eat the tiger. Not only is the cultivation hidden, but even the level of the equipment is also hidden. He. Lu Dao couldn't help but smile like a villain. Next, Lu Dao continued to look at the skills. He wanted to improve his strength as much as possible. He didn't want to die on the battlefield. Late at night, Lu Dao was concentrating on looking at the skills, adding points, and fusing them. Suddenly, a shrill scream broke through the night sky and spread into the mansion. Instantly, Lu Dao shuddered all over. There is a spy. Traitors, you deserve to die. Someone put poison. A series of shrill sounds resounded throughout the sky above Mufeng City. These sounds sounded almost at the same time. In just one breath, Lu Dao heard hundreds of thousands of screams. At this moment, Lu Dao was confused for a moment. Listening to those screams, it turned out that spies and traitors had launched a riot in Mufeng City. After coming back to his senses, Lu Dao was about to use his heavenly eyes and divine sense to see the specific situation in Mufeng City, when boom! The protective formation on the Immortal Sect's mansion was attacked continuously. Obviously, someone killed the Immortal Sect. Court death. Lu Dao was furious and rushed out of the room instantly. Brother Lu, Metropolitan. In the mansion, other Immortal Sect disciples also ran out of the room in panic, looking at the sky above the Immortal Sect. There were 2 innate strong men flying in the air, attacking the protective formation continuously, and cursing in their mouths. What kind of formation is this? The defense is so strong. You will see the stronger one soon. Lu Dao soared into the sky with a gloomy expression and flew directly out of the formation. He looked at the 2 innates with cold eyes and sprinted to kill them. It's just a level of innateness. The 2 middle-aged men in the innate realm had sneers on their faces and did not take Lu Dao seriously. However, one of them paused before he finished speaking. Then his vision kept changing, as if he was tumbling. During the transformation, He also saw his body, but without his head. He was actually beheaded by a single blow. The man was stunned for a moment, with great fear in his heart. His consciousness instantly left his body. When he was about to run away, he suddenly found Lu Dao holding the head of his companion and standing in front of his consciousness with an expressionless face. "Senior, please spare my life." This man's consciousness was trembling and full of fear. He never thought that Lu Dao's strength would be so strong. Killing the two of them at the mid-level innate level like the fourth level would be an instant kill. This kind of strength is at least that of a late-stage powerhouse above the 7th level of innateness, or even more than that. Laugh. Lu Dao used his pupil technique, and a ray of physical light shot out, instantly targeting the man's consciousness and dissipating it invisible. Lu Dao turned around and looked around. Even without using his sky eye, Lu Dao could see fighting everywhere. Residences, brothels, inns, the city lord's palace, etc., all places were suddenly attacked and killed almost at the same time. It was too sudden and too tacit. It seemed as if tonight's attack had been planned for a long time. "Why, the friendship between you and our sect is irresistible. How dare you betray Dogon?" Despair, fear, disbelief. All kinds of voices were heard everywhere. As if they couldn't believe there was a traitor among their own people, they were stabbed in the back. Lu Dao's heavenly eyes and consciousness swept around at the same time and found that the fighting was even more fierce in the inn and the city lord's mansion. The comrades who were drinking tea and chatting together one moment, raised their butcher's knives the next moment, beheaded the people around them, and wiped out their consciousness in their dazed expressions. Almost in the blink of an eye, thousands of monks were unsuspectingly attacked and killed. Those who suddenly launched a sneak attack were not just casual cultivators, but also sects. The entire sect was actually a traitor. Seeing this scene, Lu Dao felt chills all over. Terrible. If it was some casual cultivators or individuals who betrayed, Lu Dao could still understand. After all, he was in the martial arts world, and it was normal to arrange spies in enemy countries, but such a large-scale betrayal. A rare look of confusion appeared on Lu Dao's face. It was a feeling of despair and no hope. Kill. Lu Dao only looked at it for a few breaths before an innate strong man rushed towards him. The visitors were two late-stage Shantian, that is, strong men whose cultivation had reached the 7th level of Shantian or above. Lu Dao's face was gloomy and he rushed over without saying a word. Perfect levels of low-grade earth-level sword skills and low-level earth-level body skills, combined with spiritual knives and spiritual weapons and cloth shoes. Lu Dao became murderous. These traitors should all die. Kai. When the sword rises, the head falls. As soon as he looked at it, his consciousness disappeared. Another instant kill. The late Shantian is no match for Lu Dao. Help. When the other person saw this, his expression was horrified. He suddenly stopped suddenly, turned around and ran away without stopping for even a breath. Call out. Unfortunately, an arrow streaked across the night sky, like a ray of light, arriving in an instant, directly passing through his head, and even his consciousness was directly strangled by the arrow. The man's body was caught by Lu Dao before it fell into the air, and was put into the system space together with the storage bag. Help, I don't want to die. Ah, someone come and save us. Spare my life, please forgive me, Jia, go to hell. Today we will annex Yongkong Mansion, and tomorrow we will destroy Daqian Kingdom. City Lord, you can't escape. Let's capture him without mercy and give you a chance to surrender to us. Cries of death, screams, begging for mercy, and bloodthirsty strange laughter filled the sky above Mufeng City. Mufeng City at this moment is simply like hell on earth. Countless people died tragically, whether they were monks or ordinary people, they fell one after another. Those traitors didn't even spare ordinary people, and harvested them as if they were harvesting insects instead of human lives. Mufeng City suffered heavy losses. Even the city lord of Mufeng City was seriously injured in a sneak attack and was being besieged by several powerful men from the altar. Kill. Lu Dao's eyes were red and he rushed towards a mansion not far from the immortal sect. There, a sect that originally lived in the mansion actually killed the owner of the mansion and his family one after another with a chuckle, just like slaughtering pigs and cattle. This is true for the elderly, women, and children. The owner of the mansion was not weak, he had an innate level of cultivation, but he was attacked by a sneak attack and was killed with just one move. He died with his eyes open. It was clear that he lent the mansion to these people with good intentions, but what he got was betrayal. How could he close his eyes? You all deserve to die. Lu Dao roared angrily, and as if possessed by a god of death, he rushed directly into the group of traitors. Lu Dao didn't know which sect this was, and he didn't want to know. At this moment, there seemed to be endless flames burning in his chest, with nowhere to vent, and he just wanted to kill these fools. Court death. Kill him, and someone will come to die. It is true that the ignorant are fearless. These people are not afraid. A mere innate person dares to charge forward. Is this not seeking death? Poof. However, in just one encounter, an innate elder who rushed to the front fell under Lu Dao's knife. Lu Dao didn't stop, and didn't give others time to react. He transformed into the god of death, waving the death sword in his hand, harvesting their lives like harvesting insects. No, brother, this is a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. We were forced. No matter how these people begged for mercy, Lu Dao never stopped. As he waved his spiritual sword, the traitors fell one after another. The wanton and cruel smiles on their faces all turned into fear. That kind of fear was so familiar to them. Just now, it was on the face of the owner of the mansion. Now the fear has shifted to them. Chi. As the traitors fell one by one, in the end, this unknown sect was massacred and killed by Lu Dao. The whole mansion could hear the drop of a needle. There was only one little girl, staring blankly at her relatives lying in a pool of blood, kneeling on the ground with a numb face. Follow me. Lu Dao sighed silently, landed in front of the little girl, and stretched out his hand in front of the little girl. The little girl subconsciously looked up at Lu Dao with dull eyes, as if she had regained some vitality, and then looked at her siblings, parents, and grandfather who had just died. She cried loudly, lying on her mother's body, crying heartbreakingly. Lu Dao felt very uncomfortable. When he turned his head to look at other parts of Mufeng City, the discomfort felt like invisible swords slashing at his chest, trying to tear his heart apart. The tragic disaster in this mansion is like a microcosm of the entire Mufeng City. Purgatory on Earth. Do you want revenge? Lu Dao didn't want to spend too much time here. He knew that he shouldn't plant the seeds of hatred in a child's heart, but if he didn't do this, the little girl might not follow him directly. And if the little girl was left here alone, she might be killed, and he couldn't bear it. When the little girl heard this, she stopped crying, bit her lip, wiped away her tears, stood up and took Lu Dao's hand. Lu Dao raised his hand, held the little girl in his arms, and flew towards the immortal sect's mansion. The little girl has been staring closely at everything in her mansion, her eyes full of hatred, firmly imprinting the faces of her relatives in her mind, and engraving the tragic scenes in her blood. Stay well here. Lu Dao placed the little girl in the immortal sect, and without stopping for a moment, he soared into the sky and headed towards another mansion. He never thought of escaping with the immortal sect's people because it was simply impossible. Unless he escapes alone. But he couldn't do it either. Lu Dao kept going around to save people. As he killed more traitors, he saw more misfortunes. Lu Dao's heart continued to sink and become cold, and only endless murderous intent and hatred remained in his body. 1,000 layers of snow, the words are desolate, the fallen leaves are flying, and people are dead. When Lu Dao flew over a brothel, he saw a brothel woman with a miserable smile on her face, sitting on the window edge covered in blood, singing a sad song with dull eyes. This song is very sad, making people sad and mournful, making people feel blocked and mad with hatred. But when it reached Lu Dao's ears, it was like a bolt of lightning, illuminating the darkness in Lu Dao's heart that contained no hope. Songs, yes, there is a song that may be able to solve the current dilemma. Mufeng City is now full of fighting, and the county government offices, inns, restaurants, have all been completely blown to pieces. Many powerful people in the innate realm were killed by sneak attacks. If we don't find a way to break the situation, Lu Dao and the immortal sect will be destroyed. At this time, Lu Dao thought of a song from China. Hopefully it will work out. Lu Dao felt a little uneasy in his heart and began to sing softly. Wolf smoke rises, the mountains and rivers, hate is mad, the sword is long, the horses' hooves go south, the people go north, the dignified cadres want all directions to come and congratulate. Song unnamed 0100's excellent song, a loyal and patriotic song, the lyrics have a very good artistic conception, and it actually has a hint of advanced power. The listener's blood is surging, and it can inspire the listener's patriotic enthusiasm. Good. Lu Dao couldn't help but clenched his fists and said silently, "Name it and serve the country with loyalty and loyalty." The smoke is rising, the smoke is rising, the smoke is rising. Lu Dao flew back to his immortal sect while gaining experience. As soon as he returned to the immortal sect, Lu Dao hurriedly shouted, "Everyone, come here." "Yes, sect master." All the disciples of the immortal sect ran over and looked at Lu Dao eagerly. They knew that when Lu Dao gathered everyone, he was either leading everyone to run away, or he needed help. The latter was more likely. Lu Dao upgraded and added points to serve the country with loyalty, and then taught the song to everyone through the sky eye, and kept saying, "Just like how you practiced the sky eye before, you don't need to finish singing, serve the country with loyalty, every time, you only need to sing, wolf smoke, just 3 words, don't stop, just keep singing." "Yes, sect master." Everyone took the order with serious expressions. He Zongming, He Yuanshuang, Wu Tianyu and others now remembered the scene when Lu Dao sang Duo Mahanzi, and then recalled the lyrics of the song that Lu Dao passed on to them. Their gloomy moods suddenly dispersed like spring flowers blooming. This song gave them hope. The smoke rises. The smoke rises. The smoke rises. In an instant, the entire immortal sect was constantly resounding with the song, Long Yan Rising. It only sung 3 words, but the experience of serving the country with loyalty skyrocketed. Their current experience bonus is not 16 times, but 32 times. Yes, the immortal sect has also been upgraded. Immortal sect. 1 million level 5 sect. All sect disciples including you will gain a 32 times bonus in gaining experience when practicing your own techniques and skills. The loyalty and bonuses of sect members are as follows. Warm reminder. Disciples with loyalty below 50 will not receive any training bonus. Lu Dao just glanced at the experience of immortal sect and serving the country with loyalty, and continued singing, "The smoke rises," while flying to the rescue. The smoke rises. Puff. Singing, "Wolf smoke rises," Lu Dao casually dealt with an early stage Shantian, and the 3 of them flew to the next place after completing their internal refining. Mu Fengchang is in chaos, but he has a heavenly eye and can see all kinds of auras, including resentment. These traitors made late-night raids, resulting in many people being attacked and killed without any precautions. It could be said that they died with their eyes open, and a lot of resentment arose. Therefore, Lu Dao can basically judge who is a traitor or a spy. It was really impossible to judge, so Lu Dao could only ignore it for the time being. The smoke rises. Laugh. In a collapsed restaurant, Lu Dao turned into a shadow, moving at an unbelievable speed. Looking at the incredulous eyes of the innate perfectionist, he killed him with a single blow. Only a vague figure was left for the others, and I couldn't see his face clearly, but I remembered his voice, "The smoke rises." Then, the rescued person immediately shouted loudly, "Thank you, young man Wolf, for saving your life. Thank you, Mr. Wolf." Although they felt strange about the savior who first announced his family name when rescuing people, they had to be grateful for the life-saving grace. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. When Lu Dao, who was flying in the air, heard these thanks, he couldn't help but froze and almost fell down in the air, his mind filled with questions. Why did I become the young wolf hero? Lu Dao was a little confused. When he sang, "Wolf smoke rises," again to gain experience, he realized it. He was a little dumbfounded, but he didn't waste time explaining. Now for Lu Dao, everyone he can save is one. While rescuing people, Lu Dao also paid attention to the experience progress of serving the country with loyalty. The smoke rises, singing a song, using all his strength to exert his earth-level body skills, and exerting the power of the spiritual weapon cloth shoes to the extreme. Lu Dao's figure kept rising and falling, entering and leaving one mansion, inn, restaurant after another. The smoke rises. PFF, tisk. Several voices sounded in succession, and in a mansion, 3 innate men fell under Lu Dao's knife unwillingly, and Lu Dao flew away without stopping. Only the 2 remaining innates in Sunset Mountain and a group of disciples were left looking at Lu Dao's flying back with complicated expressions. Fear, disbelief, gratitude, admiration. With various emotions intertwined in his heart, the seriously injured head of Sunset Shantao bowed to Lu Dao's back from afar, "Thank you, Sect Master Lu, for saving your life. Thank you so much, Sect Master Lu, for saving your life." Other Sunset Mountain disciples, including the young man surnamed Shi, also bowed and thanked him. They didn't expect that Lu Dao would come to save them at this time without any grudges. Such a broad mind made them feel ashamed and admired. After thanking him, the people of Sunset Mountain looked sad when they saw more than 10 fellow disciples, including Elder Shi, who were killed in the ambush. Especially the young man surnamed Shi, his fists were clenched tightly. His father died to save him. "Master, let's go and save people too." The young man surnamed Shi looked at the master with bloodshot eyes and said. He did not act on his own this time, but asked for the master's opinion first. In this sudden change, he changed. Master Dao was also sad. Looking at the dead fellow disciples, he said with murderous intent, "Let's go, kill the enemy and save people." The next moment, Master Dao rushed out of the mansion with the disciples of Sunset Mountain to rescue others. When they came out, they found that groups of people came out of other mansions, and they were all saved by Lu Dao. Lu Dao had no feelings at all about saving the people of Sunset Mountain. He just did it as he pleased. Wherever there was a need for rescue, he would go to rescue people, regardless of their cultivation, status, age, etc. But Lu Dao also knew his own limitations. He did not look for those masters, but only did what he could. As he saved more people thanked him, and the name of Young Wolf became louder and louder, gradually spreading farther. Even, listening to the voices of thanks from all around, some people shouted directly. "Young Wolf, help me. Young Wolf, there are traitors here. Young Wolf, kill these spies, they all deserve to die, kill them." In this way, Lu Dao seemed to have become a summoned god, and he would rescue wherever there was a call for help. But Lu Dao was very cautious, worried that spies and traitors would take advantage of the situation, pretend to summon him, but actually ambush him and want to kill him. Therefore, every time he went to rescue, Lu Dao would first observe with his spiritual sense and heavenly eyes, and only rescue after finding no threat, and never provoke the master. Even stay away from them. In this way, Lu Dao was like a ghost, shuttling through Mufeng City, madly killing those who betrayed. Gradually, those traitors and spies knew that a strong man appeared near Changshan Street and harvested their people everywhere. Kill that Lang. Help, which master can kill this Lang? Unfortunately, these cries for help were useless. Even if it was Shantian perfection, Lu Dao could basically kill it instantly. His strength far exceeded Shantian perfection. Although he had not fought with the master level, he felt that ordinary masters in the early stage should not be able to stop him. Especially his shoes can be upgraded again, and the speed will be faster. This gave Lu Dao even more confidence. Wolf smoke rises. Lu Dao's body movements are extremely fast, 2 points faster than the average master, and he has used the breath-holding technique to the extreme. If he does not appear, he is really like a ghost. Suddenly appear, suddenly harvest. The traitors and spies near Changshan Street are terrified. Lang, if you have the guts, get out. What kind of man are you if you hide? Come on, fight head on, don't sneak attack. You can't be a hero. Not only will Mufeng City be destroyed today, but Yongkang Prefecture will also be destroyed. If you surrender to us, you will still have a way to survive. Those traitors in the innate realm were frightened by Lu Dao's killing and began to talk nonsense. What does it have to do with me, Lu Dao, if you are looking for Lang? Lu Dao ignored them at all. Compared to before, Lu Dao felt much more relaxed at this moment, but when his spiritual sense swept over the dead monks, Lu Dao's mood was a little sad. It was too miserable. In the short attack just now, at least 100,000 people died. Among them, bone forging and organ refining account for the majority, and there are also many innate and master. You know, these are the backbone forces recruited by the Great Qian Kingdom, but a sneak attack caused them to suffer heavy casualties. Lu Dao suppressed his grief and stopped thinking about it, frantically gaining experience for serving the country with loyalty. At this time, Lu Dao felt that time was so long. It was only a short quarter of an hour, but it seemed to be longer than the past 10 days. Finally, the experience was enough. Gentlemen, have you ever heard of serving the country with loyalty? Lu Dao stood in the air, and his voice spread in all directions. It's young Master Wolf, what is he doing? Those spies and traitors are looking for him. Why is he standing out at this time? Young Master Wolf, hide quickly. In the Changshan Street area, many cultivators became anxious, and they didn't understand why Lu Dao showed up at this time. Isn't this giving spies and traitors a chance to kill him? If Lu Dao hadn't killed a large number of innate masters before, they would have suspected that Lu Dao was mentally ill. Everyone was worried about Lu Dao and rushed directly to Lu Dao's direction, wanting to protect him. This fool dared to run out. He is really looking for death. The man surnamed Wolf finally showed up. Let's kill him together. Grandmaster, please kill him. The traitors and spies near Changshan Street were overjoyed when they saw Lu Dao's figure, and they rushed towards Lu Dao from all directions. Both sides were rushing towards Lu Dao, and naturally there was a fight on the way. At this time, Lu Dao's voice gradually sounded. He was actually singing. The voice was very loud, and it was the innate vitality that was used to make the song spread throughout the entire Mufeng city. Just listen. Wolf smoke rises, the country, hatred is raging, long swords, horses go south, people go north, the great Dakion wants to let all four directions come to congratulate. For some reason, the song seemed to carry some kind of magic, and it was heard by different people with different feelings. Kill all the spies, don't leave any. Die for me, you traitors, all of you should go to hell. Ha ha ha, I can beat 10. Surrender, I hope you don't die. The people of Dakion, whether ordinary people, low-level cultivators, or innate strongmen, felt their blood boiling when they heard the song, and even the 5 elements and innate vitality became active. They were full of blood, full of strength, and their strength increased by several points. Even if they were injured, even if they lost arms and legs, they had no fear, no retreat. They turned into war gods, with fanatical eyes and full of anger, and killed those traitors and spies. They wanted to kill them and tear them apart. At this moment, the strange singing sounded like the sound of nature, and the young man standing in the air was like the god of war. On the contrary, to those traitors, the singing sounded like the whisper of the devil, revealing everything hidden in their hearts bit by bit. Ah, why is this happening? Stand up. No, why do I feel guilty? No, Dakion has no future. Gumin is the end. I don't regret it. Devil's voice, don't try to interfere with my will. Get out of here. I was wrong, I surrendered. No, I was right, so what if I betrayed my country? I just want to kill. No, I was really wrong, I shouldn't have betrayed Dakion. Get out of my head, I was right. Traitors are worse than dogs. Ah ha ha ha, no. The singing passed by, and the will and consciousness of those betrayers and spies seemed to be under great attack. Some people knelt down involuntarily during the singing, and wanted to stand up in anger, but they couldn't lift their legs or straighten their waists no matter what. Some people rushed to kill, but when they raised the long sword in their hands, their arms trembled, and the power in their bodies was disordered, and it seemed that they could never stab that sword. Some people held their heads with their hands, screamed to the sky, their faces were hideous, their eyes were bloodthirsty, and they wanted to kill the people of Mufeng City, but every time they made a move, they would miss by a few points. Others stood there, madly, talking to themselves, and kept hitting their heads, wanting to split it in half, so that they no longer had to worry about right and wrong. In the singing, their minds kept recalling everything that Dakion had brought them. Wealth, cultivation, status. All of this, every time it appeared, would torture their souls again and again. Guilt, shame, remorse. Various complex emotions were like tangible swords, constantly intersecting in their hearts and souls, leaving their hearts and minds riddled with holes. Then, the riot in Mufeng City was reversed in an instant. Just saw. A traitor in the perfect stage of refining the internal organs was bloodthirsty and was about to kill a person in the early stage of refining the internal organs. Suddenly, a song came and the man was in a trance. He stopped chasing and his eyes were almost stagnant. He held the long sword in one hand and grabbed his head with the other hand. His face was ferocious, as if a demon had invaded. What is this? Get out, get out. The man hit his head hard, but it was still useless. After just a few breaths, the man let go of the long sword and let it fall to the ground. Not only was he no longer able to chase, but he was struggling and gradually knelt down. In front, the person in the early stage of refining the internal organs who was running away was no longer afraid of the song. He turned around and killed the traitor in the perfect stage of refining the internal organs, wanting to die with him. As a result, with his somewhat confused expression, he easily killed the traitor who gave up resistance. It was so easy that it seemed as if he was not killing a perfect refining the internal organs but an ordinary person. It was the song that made them give up resistance. This person guessed something and turned around to look around. Sure enough, at this moment, he saw that all the traitors below Shantian around him were just like the traitor he killed. Their mental will seemed to be affected by the song and was gradually destroyed. At this moment, those traitors and spies seemed to have lost their cultivation and turned into ordinary people. They became lambs to be slaughtered in front of the Dakion cultivators. Ah, the man surnamed Wolf, he is not a human, he is a demon, kill him quickly. Ha ha, is the demon punishing me? I am a sinner, I deserve to die. No, I am not. Even the demon is helping Dakion, are we really wrong? Reluctant, angry, fear. These emotions kept appearing alternately on the faces of low-level traitors and spies. After just a few breaths, they gave up resistance, like a group of pigs and cattle waiting to be slaughtered. Ha ha ha, young Master Wolf is so powerful, these fools no longer resist. Young Master Wolf is so powerful, brothers, kill them all and avenge our countrymen. Kill them all, leave no one alive. Why do you want to be a dog if you don't want to be a good person? Go to hell. All the Dakion cultivators were so excited that they screamed, roared, and vented, easily killing those traitors and spies who gave up struggling. This is so unreal, like a dream, but it happened right in front of us. It's unbelievable. All the low-level cultivators of Dakion looked at Lu Dao with fanaticism and worship, as if they had become his believers. That young man, in their eyes, the light was shining, like a god. How dare you? As soon as Lu Dao's singing started, a rebellious strong man on the divine platform noticed something was wrong. He shouted, and a Yuenshin power invisible to the naked eye attacked Lu Dao at an incredible speed. Boom! However, the powerful gods of Dakion Kingdom were not idiots. They also intercepted the attack with their soul power in an instant. With a rumble, it seemed as if a muffled thunder sounded in the air. The attack on Lu Dao was resolved and dissipated into nothingness. Lu Dao was not affected and continued to sing. Wake up. There were also powerful gods who used their soul power to wake up the low-level cultivators who were affected by the singing. Unfortunately, the effect was minimal. They could only wake up for a moment before they were still affected by the singing. They wanted to continue to wake them up with the power of their soul, but they were also disturbed by the power of their soul by the gods of Dakion Kingdom. That's it. In this short period of tug-of-war, in just a few breaths, the rebellious high-level cultivators watched their more than 100,000 fellow disciples, and fellow clansmen being killed one after another by the Dakion Kingdom cultivators. At this moment, all the powerful people above the innate level among the rebels were horrified and could not believe what was happening before their eyes. You deserve to die. Everyone, kill him. I will chop you into pieces. The rebels and spies all looked at Lu Dao with bloodshot eyes, wishing to eat his flesh alive, and rushed towards Lu Dao frantically, wanting to kill him. At this time, the rebels still had an absolute advantage in high-level combat power because of the sneak attack. Protect the young man, and don't let him get hurt in the slightest. Everyone, protect the young man, even if you die, you must defend him for me. How could the people of Dakion let the rebels succeed? All the masters also rushed towards Lu Dao frantically, and kept attacking and killing those rebels. In an instant, the battlefields that were originally scattered around Mufeng City all seemed to move towards Lu Dao. Both sides fought desperately, either you die or I die. Seeing that more and more people were surrounding him, Lu Dao's face was not only not panicked, but also had a hint of smile. The next moment, Lu Dao's singing voice suddenly changed. Oh no, we've been fooled. This song has the same effect on innate masters. Run quickly, this is a trap. In an instant, all the innate masters in the rebel camp were horrified and filled with fear. They found that the song, which originally had little effect on them, actually made them feel as strong as the low-level cultivators. Their powerful consciousness actually showed emotions such as regret, guilt, and shame, constantly destroying their minds and weakening their strength. They knew that Lu Dao had not tried his best before, and was waiting for them to come to him. They were fooled. Ha ha ha, young man, good plan. Young man is really a god. On the contrary, the innate masters of Dakion Kingdom were all excited. They found that this song made their strength even greater. Kill, kill, puff puff puff. One side was strengthened and the other side was weakened. The result is naturally self-evident. The rebels' innate masters, whether they were at the first level or at the perfect level, were killed one after another in a very aggrieved way. In particular, they rushed too hard at the beginning and were too close to Lu Dao. Even if they wanted to escape at this moment, it was too late. Senior, help me, save me, kill him quickly, he is a demon. These people frantically called for help, but not only did no one come to save them, those masters and gods even subconsciously stopped rushing towards Lu Dao. How could this happen? The betrayed masters and gods were almost stupid, looking at Lu Dao with almost dull eyes, their faces full of disbelief. This young man, this song, is really too evil. For them, it constantly weakened their minds and strength, while for the cultivators loyal to the great Qian kingdom, it continuously improved their spirits and strength, causing the combat power of both sides to reverse rapidly. From crushing at the beginning to being crushed, it only took a short moment. Such a change made it difficult for them to accept. Tonight, they took advantage of the gathering in Mufeng City and the unpreparedness of Mufeng City to pick up the butcher knife, intending to slaughter all of Mufeng City, and cooperate with the ancient barbarian country to wipe out the border garrison army and then take Yongkang Prefecture. They were successful. In those few dozen breaths, a large number of masters died in Mufeng City, whether they were low-level cultivators or innate masters. Even more than 30 masters were killed by sneak attacks, and 2 masters of the divine platform were also killed. Under such a result, they took advantage and kept chasing the Dakion cultivators who fled in panic. They were ecstatic. Taking Mufeng City and Yongkang Prefecture seemed to be just around the corner. However, when the young man's singing in the air sounded, everything changed. Now, they have become the slaughtered party. Low-level cultivators were killed and injured, and innate masters were not spared. It's incredible. What is that song? Why does it have such power? Loyalty to the country. 7.1 billion, 100 trillion, middle grade Zon level. Singing this song with innate energy can inspire the patriotic enthusiasm of the people of Dakion and make them more dedicated. Let their faith in Dakion turn into spiritual power, which can improve their combat effectiveness and make them fearless in the national war. Their spirit will be very active, and they may even have some understanding of martial arts in battle. It has a better effect on innate strongmen with divine consciousness. It will not have a big impact on the Grandmaster realm, but if you listen to it more times, it will also have a good effect. On the contrary, if you are originally a Dakion countryman, but betray Dakion, when you hear this song, you will constantly recall all the benefits you have gained from Dakion, constantly stimulate your spirit, torture your soul, and feel guilty, and regretful. The weaker the strength, or the more times you hear it, the greater the impact, and undercover agents are no exception. As long as you have benefited from Dakion, you cannot avoid being affected by the song. Closing parenthesis. This is the power of loyalty to the country, after the upgrade, which mainly works on the spiritual level. Songs are the same as exercises. Whether it is grade classification or experience, it is the same. Obviously, loyalty to the country is a martial art. Lu Dao and the disciples of the immortal sect spent more than half an hour to successfully upgrade loyalty to the country to the middle grade of the Zon grade. The effect made Lu Dao very satisfied. Of course, if it can be upgraded to the upper grade of the Zon grade, or even the ground grade, the effect will definitely be better, and it may have a great impact on the master level. Unfortunately, it takes more than 2 days to get 100 trillion experience points. However, even a mid-level Zon level skill is enough to reverse the riot. After all, Lu Dao sang this song of loyalty to the country with his essence, which is equivalent to the innate perfection. Therefore, in just a short moment, the will and spirit of the low-level cultivators, including the innate strongmen, were almost all broken by the song. Senior, save me. Surrender, I surrender, don't kill me. Among the rebels, those who were innately perfect could still struggle for a while, but gradually they were exhausted and asked for help from the Grandmaster and the God platform, but those people were all dragged down. They couldn't rescue at all. They also wanted to interrupt Lu Dao, but they were stopped. The main reason was that all this happened too suddenly and too quickly. They had no expectations for it, and naturally had no countermeasures. Who would have thought that a song could have such an impact? And, when Lu Dao came out to sing, he had chosen a good position, far away from the God platform and the Grandmasters. They were so far away that they could not attack Lu Dao. Moreover, the other Grandmasters and God platform of Dakion Kingdom would not give them the opportunity to attack. Ha ha ha, let's die together. Seeing this, Ashantian Perfection had a mental breakdown. With a desperate laugh, he frantically attracted all the Shantian Yuanqi in his dantian, and then, self-destructed. Boom. The self-destruction of Shantian Perfection is more powerful than an ordinary Grandmaster realm attack. In an instant, a powerful shock wave spread to the surroundings, not only blasting away the Dakion Kingdom cultivators who were about to kill him, but also several of their own people were seriously injured in the impact. And below, a large area of houses collapsed and exploded directly. A large number of Earth-level cultivators suffered casualties. Anyway, we are all dead. Then, don't live. As if in a chain reaction, the remaining Shantian Perfection also went completely crazy and all chose to self-destruct. Some rushed towards the innate cultivators of Dakion, some ruthlessly rushed towards those low-level cultivators, and more rushed towards Lu Dao, wanting to die with him. Because it was Lu Dao who made them have no hope of living and cut off their way of life. At this moment, their hatred for Lu Dao far exceeded that of others. Originally, they were about to take over Mufeng City and Yongkang Prefecture, but Lu Dao reversed the situation with a song. Such a result was too much of a blow to them and they could not accept it. Boom, boom, boom. More than a dozen people exploded in succession, and the powerful shock wave came in front of them, causing a group of innate masters to change their faces and fight back. Puff! Almost in an instant, nearly 60 innate masters were blown away, all injured, and fell from midair. So, there was nothing in front of Lu Dao. Die! At this time, an old master who had been prepared for a long time took advantage of the fact that there was no one guarding in front of Lu Dao, and approached Lu Dao with a flash, and stabbed Lu Dao in the face with a sword. His speed far exceeds that of ordinary masters, and he is a master who is proficient in body skills. Lu Dao, be careful. Not far away, Feng, who had been rushing to Lu Dao's side, saw this and was horrified. He shouted a warning and burned his innate vitality directly to rescue Lu Dao. But he was intercepted halfway and could only watch Lu Dao. Lu Dao used his body skills to the extreme, slightly staggered to avoid the man's long sword, and at the same time upgraded his spirit knife to the 5th grade upper grade, and used the perfect level earth grade lower grade sword skills to slash at the old man. Crack! The moment the spirit knife slashed the long sword, a gap was directly created in the 5th grade middle grade long sword, and a strong recoil force was transmitted through the long sword into the hand, making the old man unstable. At the same time, a sharp blade light broke through the knife and instantly slashed towards the old man's chest. A 5th grade, top grade spiritual weapon. The old man was horrified and frantically used his proud body movements to use the recoil force to dodge Lu Dao's knife in the nick of time. But before he could make his next move, Lu Dao chased him and slashed with his sword again. His speed was actually not as good as Lu Dao. The old man could only block with his sword and deliberately avoid the gap. However, what shocked him was that at the moment when Lu Dao's spiritual sword was about to strike his long sword, it strangely slipped against the sword. Not only was its power not reduced by half, it also hit the gap accurately. There was a click. The long sword broke in response. How can it be? The old man's face was full of disbelief. What kind of sword technique is this? He has seen a lot of elegant swordsmanship, but such swordsmanship usually relies on the strangeness of the swordsmanship, making it difficult for people to guard against. But Lu Dao's sword skills were not only erratic, but also powerful, which was very rare. The old man didn't have time to think too much. The moment the sword broke, Lu Dao slashed at him again. Buzz! The old man only had time to release his body-protecting energy to resist the attack, but there was a pop. The body-protecting aura seemed to be made of paper, but it was broken by a knife, and the knife light then passed through his body, cutting him in half. Who are you? The old man's consciousness left his body and looked at Lu Dao in shock. He was actually cut off by a first-level innate monk with a sword. You must know that he is a fourth-level master, and his body-protecting aura is very powerful. In the innate realm, even with ordinary spiritual weapons, it is difficult to defeat him. But he didn't expect that Lu Dao not only had a fifth-level high-level spiritual weapon, but also a low-level earth-level swordsmanship that had reached the perfect state. The vitality in his body was very strong. It didn't look like an innate level at all, and he seemed to have hidden cultivation. In addition, Lu Dao turned the tide with a song and saved Mufeng City. There is absolutely no way that such a person could be an unknown person. But in terms of his memory, there is no number one person in the entire Yongkong mansion who can match him. Naturally, Lu Dao would not answer his question. He used his heavenly eye and his eyes turned into a cage, trapping his consciousness. Although he was freed in an instant, this time was enough. A chirping sound. As soon as the man's consciousness broke free and before he could escape, he was chopped into pieces by Lu Dao, leaving only a shrill scream. After killing a fourth-level master, Lu Dao's expression did not change at all, and he did not even stop singing. Although Lu Dao had never fought against a grandmaster before, during this riot, he saw many powerful grandmasters take action and had a certain understanding of the grandmaster's combat power. He found that he still didn't understand his own strength before. His strength is not only unafraid of ordinary grandmasters, but far beyond them. Therefore, after killing this man, Lu Dao looked very calm, but the other monks in Mufeng City were furious. Using the innate level 1 to reverse the fourth level of the grandmaster. This is too outrageous. Yongkong Mansion, no, is there such a genius in the entire Dakian Kingdom? What the hell, young hero Wolf is the greatest genius in all time. His name is Lu Dao, he is Mr. Lu. Young Master Lu is awesome. The monks in Mufeng City were excited and crazy, but the traitors were stupid. I thought it was a good opportunity to kill Lu Dao, but I didn't expect Lu Dao to resolve it easily. In this way, they instantly understood that unless they were powerful men from the divine platform, the Grandmaster should not be able to kill Lu Dao. Run away. The betrayed Grandmaster panicked. Since they could neither interrupt Lu Dao's singing nor kill him, they would definitely die if they continued to stay and had no choice but to escape. Just because the longer they listened to this song, the greater the impact they received. At this moment, even their usually firm will began to become faintly unstable. These strong men who betrayed the Grandmaster were frightened and panicked and were about to run away, but were directly stopped by the strong men from Shantai. Shut up. Only by taking down Mufeng City and preventing them from supporting the front line will we have a way to survive. The words fell. There was another strong man from the altar who issued an order with a cold expression, kill the Dakian Kingdom monks indiscriminately. Even if you die, you must slow them down. The more you kill, the better. While speaking, he directly attacked the powerful masters of Dakian Kingdom, hoping to harvest a few more high-level monks. However, the strong men of the Shantai of Dakian Kingdom will naturally not let him get rid of him and cling to this person. They know that the longer the time is delayed, the better it will be for them. In an instant, Mufeng City fell into chaos again. What is different from before is that this time it is the traitors who are at a disadvantage. We have no way out, we can only fight to the death, kill. For the rebels, they have no way out. The entire gang, sect, family, all betrayed, bound together, they have only one way to go to the end. Now, only the strong ones above the bone-forging level came to Mufeng City, and the other sect disciples, family disciples, and those young children with weaker cultivation were all waiting for them. They have no choice at this moment. Escape is definitely impossible. If they go inward, they will definitely be found and killed by the cultivators of the Dakian Kingdom. If they flee to the direction of the ancient barbarian kingdom, they will be blocked by the garrison army. Therefore, they can only fight to the death. The more they kill, the greater the hope of the ancient barbarian kingdom occupying Yongkong Prefecture, and the greater the hope of their family surviving. For the sake of their family, they cannot retreat. The innate perfect who has strong self-protection ability, cooperate with other masters to kill the traitor master. The master perfect who has strong self-protection ability, cooperate with other gods to kill the traitor gods. Destroy them all. Although Mufeng City suffered heavy losses in this riot, the situation was reversed under Lu Dao's efforts, and now it is the Dakian Kingdom that has the upper hand. In order to avoid causing greater losses, the gods issued 2 orders in an orderly manner. Others, protect Liu Shaoxia. The gods did not forget to order the remaining people to protect Liu Dao, not wanting him to fall into danger. If it were not for Liu Dao, this battle would not only cause Mufeng City to suffer heavy losses, but it would also be very likely to be destroyed, and then Yongkang Prefecture would be occupied. At the thought of this consequence, all the cultivators in Yongkang Prefecture could not help but shiver. Second brother, you don't want to be a good person, but you want to be a dog. I really don't understand what benefits the ancient barbarian country gave you to make you choose to betray Dakian. The lord of Yongkang Mansion, Kong Hao, is a middle-aged man who looks to be in his early 40s. His cultivation has reached the 7th level of the divine platform. He was previously attacked by the other 3 divine platforms and was seriously injured. At this moment, he became more and more courageous, suppressing 2 strong men who were also at the 7th level of the divine platform, with murderous intent in his heart. In the previous sneak attack, his sworn brother Qi Qian actually attacked him and wanted to kill him. If it weren't for a guest official of the divine platform who risked his life to save him, he would have died at this moment. He couldn't understand why Qi Qian, who was second to none in Yongkang Mansion and above 10,000 people, betrayed Dakian. Qi Qian looked about the same age as Kong Hao, but unlike Kong Hao's tall and mighty figure, Qi Qian was very short and thin, only about 1.5 meters tall. At this time, Qi Qian chuckled, "Betrayal? I'm not from Dakian, how can I say betrayal?" "What, you're not from Dakian? Impossible, the blood in your body can't be fake." Kong Hao shook his head subconsciously, but suddenly thought of something and frowned slightly. "Think of it, right? Hee. Qi Qian smiled grimly and continued to attack Kong Hao frantically. "So you're a mixed blood. So, the blood of the ancient barbarian country in your body is suppressed by my Dakian blood. Or even wiped out." Kong Hao's hands did not stop, but he said in his mouth, Qi Qian, deceived my Dakian, I should have thought of it earlier. It's all Dakian blood that made me look like this, you all deserve to die." Qi Qian's eyes were bloodshot, and he rushed to kill Kong Hao desperately. He hated Dakian blood. The main influence of blood is physique and flesh. Relatively speaking, people in Dakian are shorter than those in Guman, generally about 6 feet, and Guman is more than 7 feet. But he, though gifted, was less than 5 feet tall. It was obvious that the 2 bloodlines in his body had not perfectly merged together, but instead consumed and offset each other. Over the years, from childhood to adulthood, he had received so many cold stares and sneers. Even if he became a strong man like the 7th level of the God platform, he could not avoid being secretly sneered at, which made him collapse. And an accident made him know that he could activate the ancient barbarian bloodline in his body again. Since then, he betrayed Dakian and became the internal response of the ancient barbarian country in Dakian. Haha, if the ancient barbarian bloodline had not consumed your Dakian bloodline, how could you be like this? You are good, you don't hate the ancient barbarian country, but hate the Dakian country instead. Kong Hao sneered and said sternly, it was Dakian that gave you your current cultivation and status. What did the ancient barbarian country give you? You actually chose to betray Dakian and back them up. You are really a wolf and a dog. You deserve to die. Kong Hao became more and more angry as he spoke. Just for a height, Qi Qian caused more than 100,000 cultivators of Dakian Kingdom to die tragically overnight. Kong Hao was almost crazy. It was really ridiculous. For martial artists, as long as the physical body is raised to a certain strength, it is very easy to adjust the height of the body. With Qi Qian's talent, it is not difficult to do it. But he chose this path. Facing Kong Hao's sneer, Qi Qian did not refute. Height, it's just an excuse. He couldn't say the real reason. Kong Hao, as the lord of Yongkang Mansion, is naturally not stupid. He doesn't really believe what Qi Qian said. For Qi Qian, blood may be the reason for his betrayal of Dakian, or one of the reasons, but what about others? If there is no other reason, how can Qi Qian rebel so many sects and families? The top leaders of these forces are not fools. With Qi Qian's identity, ability, or financial resources as the second lord of Yongkang Mansion, it is impossible to persuade these people, and naturally it is impossible to threaten them. There must be other reasons behind this. Therefore, Kong Hao felt a little heavy in his heart. The reason behind such a large-scale betrayal in Yongkong Mansion made him a little uneasy. But now he has no time to think about these things. It is most important to deal with the current traitors first. The two fought bloody battles, constantly attacking and killing each other frantically, and both wanted to put each other to death. As the Lord of Yongkong Mansion, Kong Hao's strength is naturally higher than Qi Qian, but Qi Qian has a helper, the leader of Yinfeng sect, who is also on the 7th level of the divine platform. Moreover, Kong Hao was also seriously injured in the previous sneak attack. For a while, the three of them fought hard. The strong men of the divine platform are extremely powerful, and every move and every style is amazing. Even if there is a little aftermath, it will destroy a large area of buildings when it falls on Mufeng City. Kong Hao intends to expand the battlefield, but Qi Qian and the others will not do as he wishes. They attack without scruples, and even deliberately attack Mufeng City. Attack those innate strong men. This caused Kong Hao to be very passive, constantly consuming a lot of vitality to resist these attacks. However, what made Kong Hao somewhat happy was that the traitorous grandmasters had begun to fall one after another. At this time, the song had a great impact on them. During the battle, they occasionally appeared a little tranced and stunned, and such opportunities would naturally be seized by the Grandmaster of Dakion. Often an attack would cause them to be seriously injured, or even directly die. Such a result made the Grandmaster traitors very frightened. No one is not afraid of death. Even if they have been prepared for this, when death really comes, they still can't help but be afraid. When a Grandmaster of the 4th level was about to kill two innate perfections, he suddenly paused, and the next moment he was killed on the spot by the Grandmaster behind him. Senior Qi, run away, the influence of the song is getting bigger and bigger. Some late Grandmasters couldn't stand it. Previously, it only affected the early Grandmasters, but now it affects the middle Grandmasters. It may be their turn soon. Moreover, in this short period of time, their plan to cause greater losses to Mufeng City also failed. It was impossible to do it at all. After all, compared with them, Mufeng City was not afraid of them at all after its combat power was improved. Especially since all their innate realms were dead, and there were still a large number of innate realms in Mufeng City, constantly harassing and besieging them, causing great trouble to them. The direct impact was that they almost became the passive defense party. If they were disturbed by the singing again, a slight negligence would result in death. At this moment, they could not care about other disciples of the family. Alas, seeing this scene, Qi Qian couldn't help but sighed, looked at Lu Dao with resentment, and shouted, "Everyone, flee, flee to the direction of the ancient barbarian country." After the words fell, Qi Qian and the leader of the Yinfeng sect were the first to abandon Kong Hao and flee. "Chase, leave them all behind." Kong Hao chased after them directly, and shouted at the same time, "Martial artists above the bone-forging realm, follow me out of the city and rush to the front line." We were originally planning to wait for other forces that had not yet arrived in Mufeng City to support the front line after dawn, but this happened. Now, there is naturally no need to delay any longer, and we will rush to the front line together. Even Kong Hao was a little worried. Qi Qian and his men suddenly launched a riot at this time, obviously not only to delay the pace of the cultivators in Mufeng City, but perhaps they had reached some kind of agreement with the ancient barbarian country, and at the same time attacked Mufeng City and the garrison army. Then they attacked from front and back, completely wiped out the garrison army, and occupied Yongkong Prefecture. From this, it can be seen that the front line is probably also very bad, and they need support as soon as possible. Kill these traitors. Don't run. In an instant, a large group of innate, Grandmaster, and Divine Platform strongmen flew out of Mufeng City and flew towards the garrison army. Lu Dao followed him. Not only did he not stop singing, he even continued to attack, killing one master after another. This made Qi Qian's teeth itch with hatred, but he could do nothing. Where on earth did this kid come from? Why is he so weird? Qi Qian looked at Lu Dao. His heart was full of anger, and he felt very aggrieved. He didn't expect that he, a powerful man of the god stage, would be forced to such a point by a little guy in the early stage of the innate. The action that had been planned for more than 10 years was about to succeed, but it was ruined by a song. There are many skills and martial arts in the martial arts world. The same is true for songs. But songs are generally used for enjoyment. There are similar songs on the battlefield that can improve one's own combat power, but there are no songs that can touch people's hearts and make people feel guilty. In fact, the formation can do this. But it is so difficult to arrange a formation that covers the entire Mufeng city. In addition, the peerless strong men at the level of King of Martial Arts and God of Martial Arts can also do it, but with such strong men, they can easily wipe out their group of traitors, so why bother? And Yongkang Prefecture has neither such a formation nor King of Martial Arts and God of Martial Arts. But a freak like Lu Dao happened to appear, and he turned the tables with just one song. This made Qi Qian very curious. Who is Lu Dao and where did he come from? Qi Qian was curious, and so was Kong Hao. But while he was curious, he was also happy and relieved. If Lu Dao hadn't appeared, Mufeng City would be in danger, Yongkang Prefecture would be in danger, and as for him, he might not survive. Therefore, Kong Hao always paid some attention to Lu Dao to prevent someone from attacking Lu Dao and causing Lu Dao to have an accident. In this way, a group of people flew out of Mufeng City, turned into streams of light, and rushed into the distance. On the way, bursts of desperate screams were heard from time to time. "Ah, let's die together." Boom, a master-level strongman exploded. Unfortunately, the Dakian Kingdom cultivator had already anticipated this scene, and decisively stayed away and continued to chase and kill others. If these people don't explode, then continue to chase. Anyway, the longer the time drags on, the greater the impact they will suffer, and they will die sooner or later. The cultivators of Dakian Kingdom would naturally not risk perishing with them. There was no need for that. From the beginning when all the early Grandmasters were wiped out, to now when the middle Grandmasters were gradually slaughtered, the late Grandmasters began to be killed. This was simply incredible. You know, only about 2/4 of an hour had passed. In 2/4 of an hour, Dakian Kingdom not only managed to turn the tables, but also almost killed all the rebels. Now there are only more than 10 late Grandmasters, and several powerful masters of the divine platform, and all the other traitors were killed. The smoke of war rises, the country, the hatred is raging, the long sword, the horses go south, the people go north, the dignified Dakian wants all the 4 directions to come and congratulate. Lu Dao fell far behind the Grandmaster, singing all the time, keeping a good distance. He neither gave the divine platform traitors the opportunity to attack and kill him, nor did he let his singing be too far away from the Grandmaster traitors, which would continue to affect their minds. "Ah, I can't stand it. Qi Qian, I'm your uncle." It didn't take long before a late-stage Grandmaster began to lose control of his mind, his spirit was gradually destroyed, and his expression was crazy. He cursed Qi Qian, turned around, and rushed towards Lu Dao with a completely abandoned defense, looking like he was going to self-destruct. Seeing this, the others subconsciously wanted to avoid him. But seeing him rushing towards Lu Dao, they had to bite the bullet and meet him. Boom. This man blew himself up. The power was so great that the land within a radius of 3 miles was instantly flattened. As for the several Grandmasters who resisted him, they were directly blown away and seriously injured. "Qi Qian, you will not die well." As soon as one person blew himself up, another late-stage Grandmaster also cursed and chose to self-destruct as well. Then, one after another, these late-stage Grandmasters made the same choice. They all seemed to know that they could not survive, and chose to die together with the cultivators of Dakian country. "Qi Qian, your father doesn't want you, your mother abandoned you." Boom, boom, boom. The late-stage Grandmasters seemed relieved. Before they died, they all cursed Qi Qian. They seemed to be forced to participate in this riot. What is even more puzzling is that they hated Qi Qian so much, but they did not choose to die with Qi Qian. It was very strange. Be careful, everyone, fight together. A group of people were in a panic. A large group of Grandmasters, regardless of their level of cultivation, all resisted in front of Lu Dao and fought to block the power of the self-explosion. Lu Dao naturally also fought, and put on the gold silk soft armor and iron armor on his body, inputting his vitality, so that his shield appeared to resist the aftermath of the self-explosion. Boom! More than a dozen late-stage Grandmasters self-exploded together. The power was too great. Not to mention the Grandmaster realm, even the God platform powerhouses did not dare to resist. Puff, Kai, Wu. Instantly, the terrifying power of the self-explosion spread in all directions. On the side of Dakion country, dozens of masters, including several masters who had reached perfection, were all repelled hundreds of feet. All of these people were injured, some lightly and some seriously. Fortunately, Lu Dao was protected by 2 layers of shields and was not injured. However, shopkeeper Feng, who was with him, was seriously injured. And below, a mountain range was directly shattered and turned into a flat land. This is the power of the master's self-explosion, so terrifying. Ha, is this your choice? People hate dogs. In front. Kong Hao, who had been chasing Qi Qian, was relieved to see that no one on his side died, and then began to laugh at Qi Qian. Qi Qian silently glanced behind him. His expression was extremely calm, as if he didn't take those angry curses to heart at all, and didn't pay any attention to Kong Hao's ridicule. Qi Qian took a deep look at Lu Dao, and fled to the ancient barbarian country without looking back. Humph, you can't escape. Kong Hao attacked frantically. His gun shot out like a dragon, and constantly attacked the leader of the Yinfang sect and Qi Qian. Before, the 2 of them besieged him and attacked the low-level cultivators of Mufeng City, which caused him to be constrained. Now that they left Mufeng City, there was nothing to restrain him, and he pressed the 2 again to chase and kill. Qi Qian and the leader of the Yinfang sect had to fight and flee, and didn't get too entangled with Kong Hao. However, their strength was still much weaker than Kong Hao. Most of the time, they were in a passive defense situation, and it was inevitable that Kong Hao would find an opportunity. When the leader of the Yinfang sect defended Kong Hao's attack again, he was fleeing, and suddenly a small needle shot out from Kong Hao's sleeve. Puff! The spiritual needle was extremely fast and arrived in an instant. It directly penetrated the protective qi of the leader of the Yinfang sect, instantly shot into his body, and then roamed wildly in his body. I didn't expect that you, the thick-browed and big-eyed Lord Kong, would also sneak attack. The leader of the Yinfang sect was furious. While suppressing the spiritual needle with his vitality and soul, he mocked Kong Hao. Kong Hao said indifferently, "Do I need to talk about martial ethics to deal with a traitor like you?" While speaking, Kong Hao even directly abandoned Qi Qian and suddenly attacked the leader of the Yinfang sect. His offensive suddenly increased several times. He was actually performing a secret method. Kong Hao wanted to take one away first. Once the leader of the Yinfang sect was seriously injured or killed by him, he would be very sure to leave all the traitors behind. Qi Qian, save me. The leader of the Yinfang sect was shocked. Kong Hao burned his blood and vitality. He was definitely not his opponent. Even if he burned his blood and essence to resist 1 or 2, he would still die in the end. However, after hearing his cry for help, Qi Qian not only did not choose to save him, but instead accelerated his escape. Whoosh! Qi Qian decisively gave up the leader of the Yinfang cult, used his body skills, and quickly fled to the distance, even at the cost of burning his blood. Qi Qian. Seeing this, the leader of the Yinfang cult was furious. Self-destruct, hold all of them back. At this moment, on the huge altar in the mind of the Yinfang cult leader, there was a grayish mark, and a voice came from it, which was Qi Qian's order. Facing this order, the Yinfang cult leader seemed to have received the order of the master, smiled bitterly, and looked at Kong Hao bleakly. Qi Qian, I'll wait for you in hell. As soon as the voice fell, the Yinfang cult leader did not retreat but advanced, and pounced on Kong Hao. Boom! Buzz! 2 sounds rang out at the same time, one heavy and one light. The heavy one was the self-destruction of the Yinfang cult leader's body, the light one was the self-destruction of his soul. In an instant, a mighty force that seemed to destroy the world appeared. HMPH! Kong Hao snorted angrily, and a shield appeared in his hand. It instantly turned into 100 feet high and stood in front of Kong Hao. There was a very thick shield on the shield. Bang! The power of the explosion hit, and the shield only lasted for a breath, and then it was broken in an instant, and then hit the shield. Crack! After 3 breaths, the shield shattered. But it also offset most of the might. Puff! But even so, the might was very amazing. It instantly repelled Kong Hao, and then repelled other God platform powerhouses, and then swept over other Grandmasters and Shantian. Even other God platform powerhouses who defected were blown away by this self-explosion. Ah! Buzz! Whether it was the power of the self-explosion of the flesh or the self-explosion of the soul, the might was too great, far beyond the ability of the Grand Master and Shantian to resist. Therefore, when the aftermath swept over them, the weak ones were blown away and seriously injured. Some of the unlucky ones even lost their arms and legs. Dozens of innates were directly blown to pieces. Especially the self-destruction of the soul. It has a greater impact on the Grand Master and the innate. Many people have buzzing heads and damaged consciousness at this moment. Some have blank eyes and become stupid and stupid. They can't recover for a while and completely lose their combat power. So strong. Seeing this power, Lu Dao was terrified. The power of this self-destruction was several times stronger than the previous battle between Kong Hao and others. Especially, this is still under the condition that Kong Hao's shield offset most of the power. If there was no Kong Hao's shield, I'm afraid that everyone else would die in this self-destruction. Lu Dao was not injured. He was protected by two shields. His consciousness had reached the perfection of the innate. He was far away and was only blown away by 100 feet. Lu Dao used his heavenly eyes and looked into the distance. I saw, in the distant mountains, a deep pit with a diameter of more than 10,000 meters appeared. Farther away, large tracts of forests were destroyed, collapsed directly, and turned into a plain. This is just the self-detonation of the 7th level of the God platform, which should not be able to reach the level of a martial king. Tisk, how strong is the martial king? Before, Lu Dao did not know much about the fighting power of the martial arts world. After all, he did not come into contact with many, especially the masters, God platform, martial king and martial god. He did not know them at all. Only now did he realize that it was too terrifying. The God platform realm is already like this, so you can imagine how powerful the stronger martial king and martial god are. Ahem, you fool, you exploded when you said you would. Since when did the 7th level of the God platform be so desperate for life? Kong Hao coughed and got up from the ground. His face was very ugly. Starting from the innate strong ones, each time they advance to a higher realm, their lifespan will be doubled. The strong ones on the Shintai have at least 800 years of life. Even if they are in danger, they will not self-destruct so decisively. Even if it is self-destruction, it will not self-destruct with the soul. At most, the body will self-destruct to find an opportunity for the soul to escape. In the end, the leader of the Yinfeng sect was better off, and the two of them immediately self-destructed without even the slightest hesitation, which was so decisive that it was scary. Kong Hao vaguely guessed that all this must be related to Qi Qian. This fool controls them. Are these people his slaves? Kong Hao guessed that apart from this reason, he could not think of other possibilities. Kill these people first, and then go find that idiot to settle the score. Thinking like this, Kong Hao was about to kill the other 7 traitors on the altar, when he saw. Qi Qian, if your father doesn't love you, your mother won't love you. Boom. After showing relieved smiles on the faces of these powerful men from the altar, they also decisively self-destructed. The impact of the self-destruction once again blew the others away, causing more injuries. Some people who were originally seriously injured and still alive died tragically on the spot. Even the powerful ones on the altar were seriously injured. 3 of them fully withstood the power of the self-destruction and were seriously injured, and 1 was directly killed. As a result, a large number of strong men supporting the front line were held back. Asshole. Kong Hao was furious when he looked at the support team that suffered heavy casualties. Qi Qian was too ruthless, sacrificing everyone except himself just to hold back Kong Hao and others from supporting him. I have to say, he did it. At this moment, even Kong Hao was seriously injured, not to mention the other shrines and masters who were all injured. Those who can still stand up, come with me to the front line, and the others will heal their wounds on the spot. Kong Hao waved his hand, and a large number of bottles and jars appeared, all containing healing elixirs, and fell into everyone's hands. Yes, Palace Master. The next moment, Kong Hao rushed to the front line at full speed with the strong men who were still capable of fighting, including Lu Dao. The group flew to the border in silence. However, before they reached the border, they heard the sound of fighting after flying more than 400 miles. It was gradually deafening. Everyone's face suddenly became gloomy. They didn't expect that the front line had collapsed, and the garrison army was repelled and had to retreat. Obviously, the collapse of the front line must have occurred at the same time as the riot in Mufeng City. Otherwise, the front line would have sent a message to Mufeng City long ago, and Kong Hao would not have stayed in Mufeng City, but would have led people to the front line to support early. Everyone, prepare to meet the enemy. Kong Hao flew in front, wearing a black robe, with a majestic momentum, leading everyone to lead the garrison army. At the same time, Kong Hao's voice was transmitted to the back, "Lu Dao, you continue to sing later." As soon as this sentence came out, the faces of all the flying monks changed again. In fact, when they heard the sound of fighting, many people had some bad guesses, and at this moment, the words of Lord Kong confirmed their guesses. There were also traitors in the garrison army. Otherwise, the 500,000 garrison army would never collapse so quickly. This shows how much preparation the ancient barbarian kingdom had made for this attack. Yes, Lord, Lu Dao sighed silently. There were traitors even in the garrison army. This battle was difficult. Lu Dao was thinking about countermeasures while flying. If the ancient barbarian kingdom really took Mufeng City and Yongkang Prefecture, Lu Dao would be in big trouble. After all, he had made too much of a splash just now, and the ancient barbarian kingdom would never let him go. In fact, the ancient barbarian kingdom would rather let a god platform go than let Lu Dao escape. In less than a moment, a group of people met the garrison army. In the dark night, there were figures fighting everywhere, densely packed with hundreds of thousands of people. One side fled, the other side chased. The scene was shocking. Every breath of time, someone was killed. Some people chose to self-destruct and perish with the enemy, causing large groups of people to fall down. The rumble shook the sky. The screams were piercing. At this moment, the garrison army was defeated step by step, and was chased all the way by the ancient barbarian country. It can be said that there was not much power to fight back. All the people in the garrison army were injured. Whether it was the bone refining and organ refining martial artists running on the ground, or the innate and grandmaster warriors flying in the sky, they were all injured. As for the number of people, there were only more than 200,000. The garrison army of more than 500,000, in a short period of time, the losses and defections were as high as 300,000. This number is shocking. You know, those soldiers are at least at the bone refining level. Kill, destroy Yongkang Prefecture, annex the Dakian Kingdom. The chasing ancient barbarian army was full of momentum, and everyone's face was full of enthusiasm and excitement, and they rushed to the Dakian Kingdom's garrison army fearlessly. Even if they have serious injuries that affect their combat effectiveness, they will decisively rush into the garrison army and self-destruct. This suicidal attack is the reason why the garrison army was defeated. Not only the refining organ realm is like this, even their innate strongmen also choose this way. Every time they self-destruct, they will take away several or dozens of people from the Dakian Kingdom. These people are like dead soldiers, and they don't care about death at all. Not only that, there are thousands of monsters in the army of the ancient barbarian country, which are demon elephants, all of which have the cultivation and strength of the refining organ realm. Each one is 2 feet tall and more than 3 feet long. When moving, it is like a house. In particular, they are extremely fast and run very flexibly. Each attack can easily kill the refining organ cultivator. Even if the refining organ is perfect, it can't last long under its attack. Moreover, these demon elephants are also very strange. Just like those dead soldiers, they almost completely give up defense and only attack. Once they are seriously injured, they will directly cause the 5 elements to be disordered and then self-destruct. The power of the self-explosion was even more exaggerated than that of the innate realm. A single self-explosion could take away dozens of people. Something's wrong. Lu Dao used his sky eye to watch from a distance. Under his sky eye, he found that the power in the bodies of these ancient barbarian soldiers and demon elephants was very manic, as if they were somewhat out of control. Moreover, Lu Dao saw a very strong aura of death from them. They looked like they were dying soon. Secret method. Lu Dao thought of a possibility. Obviously, the ancient barbarian country used some secret method to allow these soldiers and demon elephants to gain powerful strength at the cost of their lives. They knew that their lives were limited, so once they were injured, they chose to self-explode directly. The suicidal attack, coupled with betrayal, led to the defeat of the Dakian Kingdom's garrison army in less than half an hour, and they could only retreat to Mufeng City. The purpose of the Dakion Kingdom's garrison army now is also very simple, just one word: delay. Not only do they want to delay until these dead soldiers and demon elephants are exhausted, they also want to delay until support is available. Otherwise, if they fight head-on, the low-level martial artists and innate masters of the defending army will probably not survive. However, the Grand Masters and the godly stages fought fiercely, all of them were bloodthirsty and did not hold back at all. Among them was Qiqian, who was besieging the generals and commanders of the defending army together with the cultivators of the ancient barbarian country, and was very brave. At this moment, Qiqian's spiritual sense swept across Kong Hao and his group from a distance, and he shouted directly, "Others, stop!" When the ancient barbarians heard this, more than 100,000 people stopped and stopped chasing. These people all defected from Dakion. Obviously, he came to the battlefield earlier and informed the ancient barbarians about Mufeng City. He didn't want these 100,000 people to die in vain. These people are Qiqian's confidants. Now the advantage is in the ancient barbarians. Even if they lack these 100,000 people, they can still take down the Dakion garrison army, Mufeng City, and Yongkong Prefecture. Although the riot launched by Qiqian was not completely successful, it was not without achievements. At least 3 gods and 40 to 50 masters were killed. As a result, the combat power of the support team brought by Kong Hao was far from enough. As long as they quickly take down the garrison army, even if there are other people from Yongkong Prefecture to support them later, it will be useless. Qiqian, I'm here to kill you. Kong Hao soared into the sky and killed Qiqian. To say who Kong Hao hated the most in his life, he might have to think about it carefully before, but now it goes without saying that it was the traitor Qiqian. He wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Kill. With the participation of Kong Hao and several other powerful masters, the generals of the Dakion Kingdom, who were fighting and retreating, finally breathed a sigh of relief. But the situation was still not optimistic for them. Assist the garrison army to retreat. The masters also rushed to the battlefield and fought with the garrison army. Everyone knew that even if they were added, they were not the opponent of the ancient barbarian kingdom and could only retreat to Mufeng City. An army of 600,000 or 700,000 against 200,000, this combat power was almost a crushing defeat. Other innate masters also soared into the sky and fought with the innates of the ancient barbarian kingdom. Seeing Lu Dao rushing towards the innates of the ancient barbarian kingdom, Qiqian immediately shouted, "Be careful of that boy, he has the strength of a mid-level master." The other innates of the ancient barbarian kingdom decisively stayed away from Lu Dao and did not fight with him. However, how could their speed be faster than Lu Dao? With a swish, Lu Dao used his body skills to the extreme and broke into the Shantian crowd in an instant. He raised his hand and chopped down several people in succession, as if he was chopping watermelons. Their attacks fell on Lu Dao, but did not cause any harm to him. "Boy, if you have the guts, fight me." An old man at the 7th level of the Grand Master directly abandoned his opponent, rushed towards Lu Dao, and provoked him with words. Lu Dao cursed. Are all the people in the ancient barbarian country so shameless? They are already in their 70s and 80s, and they still bully me, a junior in the early stage of the Shantian. While cursing, Lu Dao secretly transferred his internal energy into a storage bag. HMPH, this is not the battlefield, you kid, die. The old man was also thick-skinned enough, and was not affected by Lu Dao's words at all, and chased Lu Dao madly. What made him depressed and shocked was that even he couldn't catch up with Lu Dao's speed. How is this possible? Dragon body movement perfect. The Earth-level upper-grade body movement was obtained from Kong Hao. How could Lu Dao not get some benefits from Kong Hao after achieving such a great achievement? He knew that this battle was difficult, and he couldn't improve his strength in other aspects for the time being, so he could only ask Kong Hao for a few exercises. Kong Hao would naturally not be stingy with Lu Dao's request, and gave all the exercises he practiced to Lu Dao. Although, he didn't think Lu Dao could gain much during this period. However, at this moment, Kong Hao, who had been distracted by Lu Dao, was stunned when he found that Lu Dao's dragon body movement was more skilled than him. So perverted, Kong Hao was very shocked. His talent was good enough, but compared with Lu Dao, it seemed to be a world away. You know, he practiced this Earth-level upper-grade body movement for more than 20 years, and he hasn't fully comprehended it. But Lu Dao, in less than half an hour, had already comprehended perfection. This made him realize once again how amazing Lu Dao was. This kid is a bit sinister. The next moment, Kong Hao laughed in his heart. He knew that if Lu Dao could comprehend all the several skills he gave him to perfection, his strength would definitely be stronger than that of the 7th level Grandmaster, but he didn't want to fight him at this moment. He just shuttled madly in the innate battlefield, killing the innate dead soldiers one by one. The old man at the 7th level Grandmaster was so angry that he was furious, but he could do nothing. In particular, the self-explosion of those innate dead soldiers had no effect on Lu Dao, which made him even more horrified. I'll kill him. The next moment, a Grandmaster who had reached perfection abandoned his opponent and rushed towards Lu Dao. Lu Dao decisively used the dragon body movement to escape, and his speed was extremely fast, even faster than that of the Grandmaster who had reached perfection. But he couldn't continue to chase and kill the other dead soldiers of the ancient barbarian country. That's it. A moment later, Lu Dao seemed to be in a panic and fled to the front of the ancient barbarian army. Lu Dao, come back quickly. The gods, masters, and innates who knew Lu Dao from the Dakion kingdom were all shocked and reminded Lu Dao. But Lu Dao ignored them and stretched out his right hand. A crystal clear ice bead appeared in his hand. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.